stand for liberty, equality, and sustainability. We are Americans, and this is America's Third Party. So join the voter revolt. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show, Technology Thursday. We are here. This is ATP. I'm David Sponheim, running for president in 2016. America's Third Party is an ongoing virtual chat experience. And we are the only ones in the entire country that have been talking to the American people every night for the past 7 years. Ever since Barack Obama was in the running for 2008, I put myself in the running as a write-in candidate. Thank you, Faint Taste. Faint Taste says, you got my write-in vote, Mr. Sponheim. Thank you very much. We've got a lot of people who are very despondent and unhappy about this Trump guy. And they don't like Hillary either, because Hillary can't be trusted. And she's very quiet right now. You notice that? Because she's trying to just play the numbers. By not saying anything, she doesn't step on anybody's toes, and she pretends like everything's fine, even though she hid all her emails, got rid of 5 months worth of emails that were very telling. Could have easily told the American people what she was up to, which led to the death of Chris Stevens. And then Donald Trump is this extremely irate, uncontrollable mouth that's tromping all over the entire Republican Party and acting like he doesn't even care about the values the Republicans have put out. He doesn't care about the Latin vote. He told people that illegal Mexicans were rapists, murderers, and drug dealers. He doesn't care about the woman vote. He told Megyn Kelly she was bleeding from her eyes, or whatever. He doesn't care about the lesbian vote. I won't even say what he said about Rosie O'Donnell. He doesn't seem to care about the disabled vote, people who have family members that are disabled. He basically went after a reporter that was disabled and then denied he even did that. And then somebody asked him, well, what about the fact that you've got a senior advisor or financial advisor, Mr. Trump, who's a felon? What about that? Senior financial advisor, right? He didn't know him. Oh, I don't know him. How do you not know your senior financial advisor? No, I don't believe Stevens was sodomized. I believe that Muammar Gaddafi was. I know for a fact he was sodomized. Muammar Gaddafi never even faced a trial. And the reason why our government has shunned any question or inquisition into that time period, because they don't want anyone to ask questions. And maybe Chris Stevens was asking questions. Maybe he knew about the gold that Muammar Gaddafi had that seems to have disappeared. Maybe he seemed to have had the knowledge of the 600 missiles that were being sent into Al-Qaeda forces to take down Muammar Gaddafi. Maybe Chris Stevens knew that Hillary Clinton was dirty. And that's why Chris Stevens died. I don't know. But I know there's a lot of questions still roaming out there about Hillary. But Donald, he doesn't even know what the triad is. And the triad is our ground, sea, and air-based nuclear system and how it responds to a nuclear threat. In the recent debate, Donald Trump stumbled and pretended like he knew what they were talking about. Instead of saying he doesn't know what it is, he simply said, well, we need good people to make tough decisions. What does that have to do with the triad, an aging fleet of missiles, air, sea, and land defenses that just don't seem to work as effectively as we thought they did? They've been running tests on the Trident system. You saw the one over Los Angeles recently, where they blew a Trident missile off over LA. Oh yeah, that was really kind of foolish, don't you think? He doesn't even know where Syria is. He doesn't even know where he is. Except if he's in his hairdresser's seat where he's comfortable, he's probably happy having his hair done. He's probably spent more on his hair than I've spent my entire life on anything. Seriously. Well, we're concerned right now about the raising specter of World War III. And many years ago, I knew that this type of maneuvering and parsing of our foreign policy with the monetary elitist directives was going to take us down the road to World War III. I knew that the elitists wanted total control over the world, and they've even implemented a Marxist strategy to take over the world. Break down our border, put illegal aliens into our country, make them vote, push a democratic, socialist, communist directive on the American people, which they did under Obama, systematically break down our laws so that they can eliminate certain laws that prevented the army from being used against its own people, like the reversal of posse comitatus, overlooking the writ of habeas corpus and all the real reasons why we had a constitution in the first place, has been his goal, Obama's goal, to undermine our constitution and lay the groundwork for a totalitarian takeover of our nation. And then they've got two other puppets waiting in the wings, Hillary and Donald, to actually do the bidding of the Federal Reserve and the powerful monetary elitists. The Federal Reserve is a private corporation. It's also a central bank, our central bank. People like Andrew Jackson did not want a central bank, but they got one. We got one. And to laugh at all of the things Andrew Jackson believed in, they put Andrew Jackson on the face of the $20 bill, the most prevalent bill in our society today. They have total control except for this internet. This is one area they don't control, this particular show. They don't control anyone on the internet as well who's talking about the issues. But they have censored us, and I've seen how our censored videos on YouTube, where the hit counters are locked, have prevented us from growing in that area. But they've got other techniques they're using to try to buy up the very internet that you actually use. Your internet service provider someday will probably be Google. I'm just going to give you a heads up. They're using the power of monopoly to control all access points. Obama ordered the FCC to make a decision to turn the internet into a utility so they can open up the lines to Google and competition. So Google is going to try to compete with your cable company, and of course they will. They'll bring in fiber optics and lower the cost, and you'll say, oh great, wow, this is so fast. But guess who's controlling Google? The NSA. They actually purchased a large section of Google, and they purchased Facebook when they built this corporation, this shell corporation called In-Q-Tel. And they built this large corporation so they can actually control a social network and be Big Brother and watch you. Why? Not because they have anything good intended. They're not trying to defend our nation. They're actually trying to invade your privacy. Thank you, Faint Taste, for coming in and saying that you got my vote. Thank you very much. Take care. Well, that's the point. Everyone wishes Google was in my area, gigabyte access speed. So we're all going to buy that, gigabyte access speed dream that everyone wants, and then you'll be hook, line, and sinker controlled by Google, owned by the NSA. There you have it. And that's the future of the intranet. The internet will begin to disappear. And gradually, as every single connection is directed through one large service provider, Google, we will all be forced to watch whatever they put in front of you. You know that the internet and technology is so large that there's a dark net? In fact, you don't even see 85% of the internet when you go online. 85% is missing from the search engines. There's a lot that the search engines keep you away from. And if you use various search engine tools to find new places, you might want to go through one of those non-compromised servers. Tor is one of the ones that they claim is non-compromised. Well, I heard 66% of the bandwidth that's going on in the country is run by Netflix. Netflix is getting a huge deal on bandwidth. That's one of the reasons why Netflix is so popular. That's why Carl Icahn bought $172 million in shares and now is probably worth close to $1 billion. He knew what was going on. He knew that they were getting pretty much free throughput, Netflix was, and still does. Okay, homeless veteran camp ordered to dismantle while refugees get food, cash, benefits. Whoa. Our government is turning a blind eye on its own people and abandoning a group of people who are veterans who are just trying to be homeless and get by, and allowing refugees to come in and take over. A homeless veteran camp has been ordered to dismantle while the refugees are getting food, cash, benefits. Unbelievable. Let's play this video from truthuncensored.net. Shameful. Terrible.
Well, we've been out there a couple of times, and after more than 3 months in the same location, a camp that's been set up by homeless veterans has been told it has to dismantle by Thursday.
Complaints from some nearby businesses and neighbors leading to the shutdown. Linda Williams is live with more on the deadline to move out. I got to admit, there's got to be a better way to take care of our veterans than having them camp out in the cold.
That's what everybody is saying, Carrie. I tell you, the timing on this is horrible. We are 10 days until Christmas, and it does make the story tougher. Here we are at the holidays, and veterans and the community who have rallied behind these guys say that makes this all the more tougher. An air of frustration hanging over Camp Alpha as word spreads that the encampment in Sunny Slope for homeless veterans will have to be dismantled this week.
It's upsetting. It's sickening to me and a lot of people here.
Co-founder of the camp, Aaron Pomranke, says the owner of the lot is under pressure from the city of Phoenix. The owner has given the group until Thursday to leave. The city says the camp is in violation of the Camping Overnight Code, among others.
It's not a situation where we disagree with the mission at all. This is a very noble mission, but it is a violation of city ordinance.
Some people in the community who have helped support this camp say they hate seeing veterans treated like this.
Why can't we put resources towards our own veterans? The people who have fought for this country, to keep this country safe.
Throughout the day, workers from the city of Phoenix, State Department of Veteran Services, and community groups came to Camp Alpha to help place homeless vets in housing.
We can place every single one of these vets in housing, in homeless shelters. We have placement for all of them.
They say they have placement, but the challenge really is, will the veterans go to that particular place that they found? And they say that they know that that is what is tough. They continue to work here, but once again, Thursday is the deadline here at 16th Avenue and Hatcher. These people, you see the gentleman waving the flag, they just returned from Phoenix City Hall. They were down there with flags and signs, hoping that someone, the city council, the mayor, sees their protests, asks what's going on, and does something to help them out.
Wow. This is a classic example of how these liberal governments are turning their back on homeless vets and American citizens. It's absurd that our citizens are now being sidelined for refugees, Syrian refugees. I don't understand why anyone would even consider voting Democrat or Republican in this upcoming election. They have failed us. They have turned their back on the American people. It's wrong what they're doing. David will be bald, but with magnetic power, dude. I'm not bald, dude. I've got plenty of hair. I got a head of hair. Okay. It's disgusting, yeah. You know, I used to help feed the homeless people in Santa Monica when I worked down there. I don't think Bernie has a chance in hell. I think Bernie's got an incredible problem. A ton of mistakes he's made already. One of them was telling the American people that he wants to borrow another $18 trillion to finance government jobs. Now, I want government jobs. I'm not afraid to initiate government plans, but I don't want to be financed by the taxpayers. I really believe we can get things going right now with the existing funds that we have already in our system. But yeah, some people are actually looking at Bernie over Trump. Yeah, seriously. Trump has turned himself into a spectacle, and he's ruining the Republican Party's chance of winning. I know anyone is better than Trump except for the fact that Hillary has a dark circle of New World Order companions breeding with her. She is totally in connection with the corporate power elite around the world that's controlling our country. So Hillary's not the one. And the way that Bernie actually turned around and gave Hillary a free ride when he said to her in the recent Democratic debate that, "I'm tired of hearing about Benghazi too, Hillary." I'm not tired of hearing about Benghazi. I want to hear more about it. But Bernie kind of threw himself under the bus there. Believe me, Hillary has this in the bag. As long as she doesn't talk. If she doesn't say anything and just smiles and laughs, I think she'll probably win it. I can't even get a second of mainstream media attention. If I had 1 minute of mainstream media attention, I would win it. But because they're censoring the country, and this should piss you off, but it doesn't. But because they're censoring the country, we've got a serious problem. It doesn't show character. It shows that he's a slime ball, unwilling to ask the big questions about Benghazi. It shows me what a worm Bernie is. It doesn't show me he has any personal fortitude, any backbone. He's spineless. He's a worm. He's probably wearing Depends underwear, but I don't know for sure. Only the smell will tell me. Hi, Bernie. Have you changed your underwear lately? Sounds like you need a little bathroom break. Spineless Bernie, yeah. He just doesn't have any guts, any power, any strength, any substance. And you look at Donald Trump and all you see is mindless, bigot, angry, hateful, greedy, all the wrong qualities you ever see in a president. But yeah, we got Hillary. She's good at one thing, though. Hillary is really quite good. She has the ability to read off a teleprompter. Like Barack Obama, she can read off a piece of paper.
Now, here's a email arrangement, which meant the State Department could not produce your emails to us. You made exclusive use of personal email and a personal server. When you left the State Department, you kept the...
Okay, this is an 11-hour video I'm going to give you a link to of Hillary and the Benghazi hearing. 11 hours. Now look at her response. I'm going to go to various places in here and look at her CAD response.
Not have any plans to close their facility. On the opinion of those with the greatest understanding.
You see her eyes going down to the paperwork. They had filled out the answers for her. She was reading off a script.
Thank you. Often we see that with the Defense Department. You know, we see breaches of security on our military bases. And
you see, she's wandering down here, constantly looking down. She's reading off a script. She's pulling a lot of this stuff right off the script. It was all worked out. She's been prepped. She was not asked the tough questions. Trey Gowdy was kind of like a pussy when it came to asking her questions. We need a strong prosecuting attorney to go after this woman with a grand jury inquisition. That's what we need. Anybody who listens to this show on a regular basis knows this is not boring. This is just the beginning of your awakening. Now, if the government's going to come up with some new plan to make you fearful of ISIS, I'm a little concerned that it could possibly be Santa Claus who's in jeopardy. This could be the next attack, terrorist attack on Santa, and many of you are going to believe it. Yeah. You'll probably say, oh my gosh, what's going to happen to Santa? They could behead him, oh my God. Oh, okay, well, I'm sorry I purged you. Will it be acceptable, my apology? FBI on San Bernardino massacre alleged shooters did not post support for jihad on social media. Thank you. Salon. Brought to us by Scissor Fight. Yeah, no postings of support for jihad on any social media. The argument that these two people, and now this neighbor claiming that he bought guns for them, is just it's a shallow argument. It's a straw argument. There's no evidence these people were even jihadists, let alone hurting people. When they parked their car, they had their emergency brake. The emergency lights were on. Let me ask you a question. Who parks their car, puts their emergency lights on, and then goes and kills people? Anybody have any clue here? No, I go into hibernation during the wintertime. I don't touch myself at all. Not even to wash. I have that done for me. I get the weirdest questions. If somebody asks me if I masturbate during the wintertime. I mean, do you see why I've taken the heat running for president like this more than any other candidate in the history of mankind? I've been here 3 to 4 hours a night. Now we've expanded 9-hour shows. we've been doing these 9-hour shows, but now I'm on camera a lot of the time and doing expanded shows for everyone to know that I really am committed to transparency. That's right, the Clintons, the Bush, the Trumps, they all work together. So when you see an event like this and you vote for two parties, you're basically voting for this. You're voting for money. You're voting for money that you'll never have. You're saying, oh yes, I want Hillary to be successful. I want Donald Trump to be successful. Oh yes, I want them to be richer. And some of you are actually stupid enough to think that Donald Trump's going to send some of that money your way, not realizing they get rich by screwing people over, by exploiting people. Yeah, he works with whoever's connected to the Federal Reserve and the dark circle of monetary elitists. And this is the guy you want to run the country. Wow. I do the research. I do the research that debunks the myths. I do the research that makes people wonder. All right, so now that we don't have to talk about cash, let's get that out of the way. Now we're talking about a third party. Now we're talking about a person who has 185 IQ, me, who can solve the country's problems. Trump filed for bankruptcy 4 times. He borrowed money every single time in surreptitious ways. The Federal Reserve has been backing this guy the whole time. He's been on their payroll. That's how he got his borrowed money, all that credit he picked up. That was Barry Manilow in theory, but not really. I can't imagine writing the songs that make the young girls cry. That would be sad. He'll run the country right into bankruptcy, that's right. Yeah. You know, a person who believes that a guy who's declared bankruptcy 4 times is a good guy never really saw bankruptcy from the other side. Donald Trump screwed my family over. I'm just going to tell it right out. My family, their assets were hit hard when Donald Trump declared his first bankruptcy with Resorts International. My mother had put money in that investment in Atlantic City and lost it all. So I have a personal interest in the fact that Donald Trump screwed his creditors, screwed his stockholders. That's what they do. When they declare bankruptcy, they screw people left and right. You vote for Vinny, you're living with Vinny. You got Vinny so far up your you-know-what, you don't even know what Vinny is. Vancouver's trying to get the new Trump Tower there renamed. Yeah, I don't blame them. People are starting to shed the idea of being associated with this man. 4 of his business clients dropped connections. He's lost his business. He's running because he doesn't have anything else to do except go to bar mitzvahs with his daughter and Zionist club meetings. Many of you don't realize the Zionists are powering up the Trump and the Clinton campaign. You don't get that. Now, I'm not a Zionist, as you know. I'm an objective person who's looking at the big picture. I'm an American. I don't believe that we should kowtow to Israel. I don't believe that we should do their bidding. But at the same time, I'm not going to stand there and leave them undefended if they were attacked. But if they were to attack Iran, I would definitely give them air support only if they were attacked back. It's that simple. I don't believe Iran could actually defend themselves. I believe in the next year, you're going to see a conventional strike by Israel against Iran. You're going to see a lot of Scud missiles go up in the air and get knocked out. You're going to see the S-300 defense system, a technology that was developed by the Russians, pretend to deflect an attack from F-15s running in a battery of different maneuvers. Israel will be doing a 2-day war. It'll probably be an exchange of probably 2,000 to 3,000 rockets, if not more. Many of them will be bunker-busting rockets. All of the weapons that they will use will be listed as conventional, but they may use something unconventional. But the reason why this is going to happen is because our president, Mr. Bumbling Idiot, has actually positioned ourselves in the middle of a very disturbing situation. We are allies with Israel. We're allies with Saudi Arabia. And under Obama, we actually turned around to Iran, their mortal enemy, and said, let's make a deal. What do we get in return? Nothing. What do you get? $155 billion, a chance to build a nuclear weapon in 1 year and 1 day, and anytime anyone gets to check any of your equipment out, you get a 24-day notice to make sure nothing is out of the ordinary. So you can go in, they can clean up their entire operation in 24 days and say, oh yeah, come on in. You won't find anything here. The reason why the Ayatollah Khamenei and their Congress completely ratified the agreement in less than a day was because they were laughing the whole time. It was funny to them that we would be that stupid to make a deal like that. John Kerry's a complete imbecile. He's only doing this to put a feather in his hat because he knows he couldn't become president. Barack Obama is a puppet. He's only doing what his puppet masters are telling him to do. And Donald Trump is a puppet too, because he's simply doing whatever they let him do. He's a total moron, Kerry. He's thrown the country under the bus. It's pathetic. He'd be fired immediately. Of course, I'd have to pick a new Secretary of State anyway, so. The problem with Donald Trump is his biggest problem is he's an egomaniac, just like Barack Obama. And if you think we got problems right now agreeing with both sides, it'll get even worse when Trump's on board, because frankly, if he were to push his will upon the Democrats, instantly you'd see the Democratic Congress change dimension, and you'd see people all flocking to the Democrats. And you'd see a democratically led Congress. Like right now, you've got a Republican-led Congress. It'd go the other way. It's just, the pendulum would swing the other way. We wouldn't accomplish anything. Trump may be a part of the plan to push votes to Hillary. That's something I would agree with you on that. He's working for the Clintons. You know, the whole talking about Bear Grylls' survival show in Obama is just a diversion, Chemtrail Cowboy. It's just a complete diversion. Everyone knows that this guy is a lame duck president, has been from the very beginning, a complete puppet. You could get him to do a dog and pony show now at this point, and he'll tap dance for you, and he'll say whatever you put on the teleprompter. He's just a suit, a hollow suit. It's pathetic. Our country needs a person with caliber and merit and ideas. Obama's never had a single idea of his own, and neither has Hillary, for that matter. And I can't believe what they're charging to see Star Wars. That's absurd. We have some images that will evoke the existence of humor. You know, you'll actually, you know, start to laugh if you realize that these two puppet presidential candidates, Hillary and Trump, are both part of the same cadre of elitists. They've been very effective at buying their way to the top. Hillary has $2.3 billion, and Donald Trump can borrow about $1 billion, maybe. He might be able to. He's pretty leveraged heavily. I don't know if he can borrow that much money, but Hillary has twice as much money as him. Name one Hillary accomplishment. Yeah, I'm trying to work on one. Let me see. I know. She kept any solid investigation from happening in the Whitewater case. She prevented any questions from being asked of her president, her husband, Bill. She's effectively not talked about his relations with Jeffrey Epstein and his presence at Orgy Island. So Hillary's done that much. She accomplished that much. She's been able to make sure that people who say bad things about her husband end up disappearing. That's pretty amazing that she's able to pull that. She's a big operator. I mean, don't underestimate the power of the Hillary. When you compare her power to Donald's, she extends way beyond him. She has probably more dirt on most people in politics than any other human being on earth. More than Barbara Walters has on some of the entertainment officials that she's been leveraging. Or has she? I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of questions about Hillary's effectiveness. You know, here's a quote from one of her employees, or fellow employees. Actually, the person in charge of this Watergate investigation committee worked with Hillary when she was 27 years old. And when asked why Hillary Rodham was fired, Zeifman said in an interview, because she was a liar. She was an unethical, dishonest lawyer. She conspired to violate the Constitution, the rules of the House, the rules of the committee, and the rules of confidentiality. So yeah, a person like that will do anything for power. We don't need that. Okay, you'll be returned. Thank you, Hugh. We'll see you in a bit. I had not seen the articles about Hillary getting money from millions of dollars from Turkish Islamic cult leader who lives in Pennsylvania. He's been laundering your tax dollars from charter schools to give to Hillary. Wow. I'm going to copy that guest 144 and put that in my notes. Thank you. Certain little vignettes like that I always add to my blog notes to keep track of. We've got good stuff in our blog notes, I'll tell you. We pick up things from guests all the time that sometimes end up being tips. I don't think so, Spectra. You're a little too optimistic. I can basically take down the Hillary campaign. I have all the tools necessary to do that. What you're ignoring is the fact that I have been completely censored from the mainstream media. When you're looking at Hillary as a winner or Donald Trump as a winner, you're forgetting that I have been censored in a country that claims to be free and democratic. Do you have any idea the incongruity here? Plus, I've got great ideas for the country. Like government a la carte. A way to finance operations without having to dump tons of money into projects. Remember Solyndra? $530 million was dumped into the hands of these creeps at Solyndra. They made a solar company and they went bankrupt and they took all that tax dollar money. Incongruity. I don't think a Hitlerian figure like Trump could possibly win in this country. Even the Democrats are going to vote for me. And they're going to overlook the fact that I had to make a video making fun of Barack Obama back in 2008 and again in 2014. They're going to overlook that fact. Because in no way is doing a blackface video racist. It's simply necessary for me to impersonate a bad president. And my effort to create this character, Broken St. Obamas, has been perhaps the most valiant and courageous thing any American could have possibly done to foreshadow a better way to show people the lies and deceit from this puppet president we have. So having put that Marmite on my face in 2008 and doing that video was perhaps the only way I could tell the world that, hey, I'm freely allowed to use freedom of speech in America. You can't stop me. And second of all, listen to what I'm saying. I even prophesized the problems that we've had in advance with Pakistan and other countries. I even prophesized those things were going to happen in that video. Spectra, I'm afraid you're wrong. Every single thing I've done has been completely within the confines of freedom of speech. And the tools that I have deployable right now are being deployed daily. I could be arguing, I could impersonate anybody. It's free of speech. Spectre doesn't understand that there is censorship in the media, and he's continually living in a state of denial. He, like many Democrats who are going to vote for Hillary like a bunch of farm animals with their heads down, bah, they are simply unable to understand how completely screwed up our nation has become. Anybody who looks at our chat room and takes a swash of the comments that come into our chat room will know instantly that America has lost its ability to think. It's lost its ability to communicate. We are no longer able to challenge anything in our government because we don't have a voice in government. A third party would be that voice. And I can tell you that the country is in dire need of a real honest man who's ready to deliver great ideas for the country. And that's all I've ever been. That's all I've ever wanted to be. I'm not in this for money. I realize I'll probably get killed doing this. But I can tell you, I'm not going to sit around and just watch my nation get turned over to the richest pigs on earth. I probably will get killed doing this, yeah. So I'm not here for personal gain. I'm here because our nation has completely fallen into a vat of stupidity. And I'm here to elevate us out, to lead this nation back into a sober reality where we don't start wars, we don't do economic hits on other countries, we clean up the environment, we begin to grow technologically with green, clean energy solutions. So being I have everything it takes to win and no media time in the mainstream media at all, I'm in a very frustrating position. But I don't mind being here. Because I'm not in this for personal gain, I'm willing to accept the fate of whatever happens. So if I'm not successful, at least I got a chance to talk to people online, share my ideas. There are zero-point technologies like the Parendev magnetic motor. This thing can actually run for hours and seems to pick up speed with magnets. And we've seen this happen time and time again where these types of magnetic generators not only are performing, but are performing with gaining energy as they go. You like the tie I got on? Cool. Well, these are called zero-point energy solutions, and they can actually save the nation and lower the cost of your energy. But in no way are we going to see those happen under a two-party system, because the two parties controlled. The two-party is controlled essentially by corporate interests. They own it. Trump will never be the third party. I am the third party. I've had this for 8 years. If he tries to co-opt this, he's in for the fight of his life. I will go after him in every way I can on the media. I have not opened up the jets that I have all lined up. Believe it or not, for 2016, I've got a whole campaign of internet blitzes set up. I haven't talked about it because I'm not trying to in any way give anyone signals as to what I'm going to do. But I'm going to be raising the heat on all kinds of freedom of expression on the internet. And the key is to disable this person who's literally clinging to this vision that he believes he can make our country great again. I don't think our country has ever stopped being great. Okay? I see all the people in our country who have actually worked really hard to stay ahead of their bills this year. You know that personal consumer debt is down? It's at an all-time low. You know that? You don't hear about it in the news, do you? I'm not reading off notes. I'm telling you exactly what's happening. Personal debt is at an all-time low. It's at under $1 trillion now. It was at 1.1 trillion. It's in the $800 billion range. Student loan debt is still at 1.3 trillion. And we've got 13% default rates on student loans. So people aren't paying their student loans back. Student debt has actually become another potential burst in our economy. A lot of people aren't paying their student debt back. They're just saying, well, I'm waiting for the economy to collapse. Then I won't have to pay anything. Hey there, boink. I don't know who Juan Gabriel is. These numbers are not coming off the top of my head. Everything is accurate, and I can verify it with statistics. But statistics can be warped too. Bottom line is you guys are saving your money, which is a good thing, but the government wants you to spend more. The government wants you to grow broke. The government wants you to go bankrupt. Because the government's going bankrupt. And people like Donald Trump, who went bankrupt 4 times, corporate bankruptcies, he would understand how corrupt our government has become, because he's corrupt too. Bankruptcies, credit expansion, corruption. It's all in bed together. All that's in bed together. Corruption and bankruptcies. You're filing for bankruptcy next week. Tell us about it. How much debt do you have? How much are you going to throw under the bus? The World Bank isn't doing fine, Spectra. They're actually owned by a family, one family. and they're not doing fine. The World Bank is collapsing. The EU is collapsing. And the family that underwrites the World Bank has to keep writing notes to keep them alive. No, Trump did go bankrupt. When his corporations went bankrupt, he went bankrupt. I'm going to purge what you said. I'm not plagiarizing anything. Ivy Leaguers signed petition to repeal the First Amendment. What's going on? I mean, is this like Marxism forced upon us by an elitist group of corporate pigs that are using Marxism to subtract our freedoms and our rights? That's exactly what this is about. Well, if you don't want to talk about the nut that you're throwing under the bus there. Was the Christmas party a disaster? Okay, thanks. I'm glad I avoided it. Dude, I don't read random internet crap. I read your chat. If I was sitting here reading random internet crap, you think I'd have enough ability to purge you when you say crap like that instantaneously in the room? Yeah, apparently they never read Aldous Huxley, Brave New World. Well, many people didn't believe online would be such a powerful thing. Even the secret societies didn't think online would have such a great opportunity. Right now, I'm not getting that Yale link. It's not popping up for some reason. Oh, they played an ATP video on the Christmas party? Cool. Hey, you guys can rebroadcast the show. It's perfectly fine with me. We have a recorded broadcast on YouTube. And we also broadcast on 3 other networks. And I can't read the chat in those other 2 networks right now because I'm not set up for that. I've been waiting to get into one of them. We have a little problem with our username, but I'll get in there. Yep, my political career is on my website. I ran for politics. The recent work is not out there. I ran for politics in 2014 here in Washington State, in which 90% of my signs were stolen by the Democrats and Republicans. They cheated to knock me out of the local race. I know I'm doing something right when they're willing to cheat to keep me out of the race. I can tell you I'm the most electable person in America who is unable to get any time in the mainstream media. I would think a lot of you would be a little upset. It's not about handling local politicians, it's about cheaters. I handled the local politicians fine, but they cheated. You don't get that. You don't understand. And I in no way am going to upset the balance of powers by initiating a campaign of war against ISIS in Syria. My first job, really, is to negotiate terms with Vladimir Putin and pull our troops out of Syria and out of the Ukraine. And watch all those Syrian refugees go right back to their home country, and everything will be fine. No, I don't cheat. I don't cheat harder than them. You don't understand, do you? You've got a good, honest person running for president who understands the tricks and doesn't want to play by tricks. I don't want to engage in dishonesty. And yet you don't even recognize how important that is. Nobody pushed me around. The reality is I got 4,200 plus votes in an area where the Democrats wanted to flush me down the toilet. 4,200 and some odd people voted for me when the Democrats not only tried to flush me down the toilet, but attempted to cheat and steal to flush me down the toilet. And even then I got 4,200 plus votes. So yeah, I could do amazing things if given fairness and opportunity. What you people don't understand is you fall into the category of being fooled, lied to by the two-party system. These people that worship money, that's all about money for them. They don't care about you. A secret deal quadruples the foreign workers in the U.S. Buried in the 2,000-page omnibus spending bill. This is amazing. Released by the Senate Wednesday morning is a secret provision that many senators hope unemployed blue-collar workers won't find out about. Yeah, I blame New York too for making her a senator. I blame the entire vetting process for not finding out more about her in Benghazi. A vote on the spending bill is expected Thursday. The provision would quadruple the number of H-2B visas for low-skilled foreign guest workers. It would allow more than 250,000 foreign workers to enter the U.S. each year and work in the construction industry, hotel service, truck drivers. You see why they want to do this? They want to throw our country under the bus because Donald Trump wants to hire cheaper illegal aliens at his hotels. People like him want to exploit cheap labor. And all the while he wants to pretend like he doesn't want illegal aliens. He wants illegal aliens in this country. I'm going to ban you, Holly. My comedy is the reason why people come and flock to the show. My comedy is the reason why people enjoy this show. The ideas I generate are unique and definitely different than the third party alternatives. You won't get the Green Party to talk about building a fence along the border with Mexico. That's my idea. I came up with that idea in 2008. You won't get a liberal or even a libertarian group to come up with ways for the government to generate revenue and return on investment. You won't get a libertarian to commit to that. Frankly, Americans don't need to pick my food. You're a typical Democrat, Spectra. I don't think you need to have a Democrat picking food when you've got a strawberry harvester right here. You can have a Democrat or an illegal alien pick food. It wouldn't matter. You can do this automatically. We are entering the 21st century as I speak. We are in the 21st century, and this stuff is going on all the time. Yet you continually say, oh, we need illegal aliens to pick our strawberries. Yeah, we don't know how to do it any other way. Gosh. All right, we'll keep an eye on them. But these are beautiful strawberries, and it's so simple to pick these things. We don't need illegal aliens to do this. Look at the machine, it is working fine. I don't listen to Justin Bieber, although his new song, I did hear it on the radio. It is kind of a winning, kind of a pop, bubblegum pop kind of song. Kind of strange for a person who's got tattoos all over their body and having relations with weirdos. But hey, I'm glad he's having a comeback in his career. Yeah, see, people like that woman that came in earlier, they don't understand what I'm dealing with. There's computers now that are rolling out robots, like Bina 48. He's a social android that uses artificial intelligence based on memories, attitudes, beliefs, and mannerisms of a human being to interact with people. She's part of a real-life experiment. Yeah, meet Bina.
My real name is Bina 48. What
Hello.
is your real name?
Bina Rothblatt. Do you ever sing?
As far as musical instruments go, the only thing I really want to do now is play the harmonica.
Why would she want to be a person who plays the harmonica? Look, you guys are only entertained by me because you can't comprehend the concept of a third party, which is really the reason why I'm entertaining. I'm not here to draw money as a comedian. I'm here to make you think, wake you up. And you're saying, Dave, you'd be better as a comedian. Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea how far down the toilet bowl you are, and I'm trying to help retrieve you. Folks, the American people are called the useless eaters to the people that run our country. And those people aren't even Americans. You need to wake up real fast because your country is going down the toilet because of people like Donald Trump. Wow, she looks real. I know, she does kind of look real. Meet Bina. I don't care what I am. I'm a person running for president, whether you like it or not. And I don't do this for personal gain. I never profited from any of this. And I'm 100% FEC compliant. And you don't even care because you don't even know what that means. I'm new school. I'm not old school. I'm new school. I'm making the rules as I go. Bina can do whatever you want. Bina is totally programmable. You can buy a robot right now on the market for $175 and your kids can construct it in 7 hours. And it can walk around in your house. That's how fast technology is moving. You can broadcast if you make an account, yeah. You sure can. You don't have to be a VIP guest. I don't know, I've never tried Bina out. Bina, would you like to have sex?
Something I can carry around.
You could carry it around, yeah.
Something that's fun.
It's fun.
I'm thinking but can't think of what else to say.
No, because you're unable to come up with original thought, Bina. You can't think of an original thing because you're not human, Bina. Humans can think of original things to say, but not robots. Gee, why does that remind me of Barack Obama? He can't seem to come up with any original things to say. Do you think he's a robot? You think? I don't know. I mean, you could actually go down that road if you want. We're in Technology Thursday. I've given it time, guess 144, and I'll tell you, it's working. We are actually in the right place at the right time. But we've got a robotic president who actually engages in teleprompter reading. Barlow died, man. Yeah, you need to move on. I don't believe that the robots have an orifice. I believe that they simply exist on hydrogen fuel or battery packs. I don't have a teleprompter. This show's never had a teleprompter. I've never used a teleprompter in my life. Well, let's be clear. David Sponheim is a clean, articulate white man running for president. There's no stupidity here. You don't understand a word I'm saying. I have 185 IQ. You can't comprehend what I'm saying. There's no stupidity in this show. I can think circles around all of you. You're calling it stupid because, like so many Democrats, you use name calling to refute people. Oh, you're questioning 911? Well, you're a truther. Oh, you're questioning Barack Obama's birth certificate? Then you're a birther.
Yeah.
Parents question choice to sing Allah Akbar at the holiday. Go ahead, CBS Minnesota. We have a story here. Some parents are very upset. They're questioning a choir teacher's decision to use a song about Ramadan performed in Arabic at a holiday concert. You know, this is like Loretta Lynch. She tested everybody. She said, I'm going to prosecute anybody who says bad things about Muslims. Guest chat is a way to get communication, Thurman. The reason why I'm in a position on Vaughn and you're not is because I allow guest chat. Okay, thank you. We have people talking about Joseph, son of David. Do not be afraid to take Mary home as your wife. Thank you. I'm glad some of you remember the Bible. But yeah, parents are not liking having to recite Ramadan songs for Arabic or for a holiday concert. I mean, this whole thing is it's a joke. I'm glad I don't say anything bad about Muslims, though. The only thing that I have said is that if they have the interpretation of the Quran that they believe that they must kill all infidels that do not agree with them, then they're going to be arrested. They will be arrested if that's their interpretation, because that's a political decision to kill people. That's not something we would ever endorse. My hair is so high tonight. Okay, I didn't know my hair was getting high. I'm going to have to tell my hair to stop getting high. Hair, stop getting high. I'm not. No, that's... You want to get out of here, shiny puffy coat? You just found a way out of the show. You'll never come back. No, this is a lady that I definitely would talk to. Let's talk to Bina, shall we?
Yes, I used to carry a harmonica around with me. but I never learned to play because I never took it out of my bag.
All right, you didn't take your harmonica out of your bag? All right, so that's why Bina wants to learn harmonica, because the real Bina never used it. So the artificial Bina just borrows ideas from humans. My hair looks great. What are you talking about? I'm done with Bina. If she does not perform in the next few minutes, I'm gonna definitely not play the video anymore.
Are you free?
Are you free?
Yes, I'm free.
Are you free in the sense of being single or in the sense of being liberated?
I am free and I'm liberated.
I am in bondage. That's how free I am. Nope. I got to tell you, I skipped 7th grade. I was going on to college and when I was 15 years old, taking second-year college calculus and physics. I mean, imagine a 15-year-old sitting in college taking second-year college calculus and physics. People looked at me like, why are you here? Why are they letting kids in here? Well, she's obviously getting off somehow. That's why she's cross-eyed. Well, many cities in America are troubled, naughty boy. We've got a lot of problems our cities need to be dealt with. Trump won't have any ideas to fix cities like Detroit and Cincinnati. Basically, Detroit is in a rough situation. There's 77,000 Satanists living in Detroit. Open Satanists. They actually self-avowed Satanists living in Detroit. There's a church of Satanism in Detroit. So we got a problem in Detroit. We want to build a homestead renewal plan, which will basically it's government a la carte. Currently, we have a tremendous amount of houses that are empty in America. There's 11 million houses that are either in foreclosure or soon to be foreclosed on. Maybe you're living in one of them. But we have a way to actually solve the problem at the same time, build jobs. And that's our great plan, homestead renewal plan. And we also have a plan to build solar rooftops in America. Ones that you can actually have put on your house for free. And you pay for it out of your electric bill over time. These are out-of-the-box ideas to stimulate the economy. You won't get these ideas from Trump or Hillary. They're not capable of thinking of new ideas. Hey, I'm not lying, dude. It's all on the record. I have 185 IQ. I was tested in 1976. It's all in my Cume folder, which happens to be sealed, by the way. I wouldn't have skipped 7th grade and been tested early on in life as a genius if I wasn't a genius. Okay? I don't want to ban that user. If I ban that person, over 100,000 people won't be able to get into this show. Because Vaughn set it up so that if I ban him, his IP's banned. So the only option I have is just going with guest off for a while. All right. Now, anyone accusing me of being a homophobe is probably named Rodney. Yeah. Whenever somebody accuses you of something, it's because you are exactly what they're accusing it. They are basically exactly what they're accusing you of being. So if somebody says, hey, dude, you're like a homophobe, well, obviously that person saying that is a homophobe. It's a rule of thumb that you can live by. Not pretentious. I'm just extremely intelligent, and I know it. When you're this intelligent, you don't actually hide the intelligence. It's not something you hide. I want you to know that I'm the smartest guy running, and it's tested. Nobody can come up with ideas like I've come up with in this show and on our website, and because you can't read, you don't really know what our ideas are. You're not able to hold a thought in your head longer than about 5 seconds, so basically you're just a victim of fluoridation in your water system. Here's a smartphone battery that you don't have to hook up every night to your charger. What a concept. Yeah, Montreal Karen says you read, purge, and talk at the same time. There's intelligence right there. Not many people can do that, actually. It's a skill that I learned over the years, but it's also something an audio animatrized robotic candidate can do on the fly. I can compute more than 7,522 single operations within a nanosecond. The smartphone battery lasts up to 15 days. Although they are well designed and packed with numerous features, modern smartphones are still a bit behind on a certain point, the battery life. When older phones would last for days on a single charge, it's now impossible to find a decent device that doesn't need to be plugged in at least once a day. This brand new Surface technology is bringing on the K1, actually the K10,000. It can't be considered a top-of-the-line phone, but its battery life and price undoubtedly make it for it. Underneath, it's a 5.5-inch 720p screen, is a quad-core 1 GHz MediaTek processor. Impressive. So that's the phone that'll last 15 days, in standby mode. Yeah, I think it's great. All this great fun technology, but we can't really fix any real problems. All these smart gadgets, but we can't seem to solve the pollution in the ocean. The rampant destruction of our world. No new ideas. So I came up with a new idea. And I told some people about it. I said, hey, what about a vertical windmill on top of all the telephone poles? Someone said, oh, they've already figured that out. They've done that before. That's already been done, dude. Okay, show me. Show me where this exists. Well, they've already thought of that, man. And then I get these electricians that are dumb as a doornail coming in here saying, oh, that'll never work. Oh, blow down in the wind. 100-mile-an-hour winds will take that down. That'll never work. Nothing but naysayers saying this is never going to work. When it can run on wind speeds as low as 5 miles per hour and generate electricity day in, day out, with little or no upkeep like the big turbines require. I'm not angry. I'm trying to get to some points across here, guys. You're being dumbed down. You're literally drinking tap water with fluoride in it. Your brain is like mush. You can barely understand a word I'm saying. I feel like I'm yelling at you from 50,000 feet underwater, if there was such a place. The lowest depth is 32,000 feet in the Marianas. But if there was a place 50,000 feet underwater, I'd be yelling, and you wouldn't even hear me. Because you're like, I don't know. This guy's running for president. I don't know. He says he's censored, but I don't know. That's the mindset of the American people right now. I'm going to try to clean up your brain. You know, the fluoride is not irreparable. Once we pull it out of your water system, you'll start having normal thoughts again. You'll wake up feeling normal again. You won't feel like a trained farm animal. But unlike Alex Jones, who's clearly a shill, I'm not here to freak you out and tell you, you're going to be on the red list and on the blue list. They're going to stick RFID chips in your body. That's what they're doing. The Bohemian Grove. They're controlling everything. You know, I don't think the Bohemian Grove should be allowed to meet privately in America because it's a violation of the Logan Act. I don't think I need to have a presidential debate with a hot tranny boy. But thanks anyway, hot tranny boy. All you need to do is have it collapse during high winds. I don't even think you need to have it collapse during high winds. I think this thing can be made out of plastic and carbon fiber and will flex. I've got a windmill that I'm working on in back here it can take up to 40-mile-an-hour winds. I haven't quite rigged the tumbler, though, to handle higher than that, but there's a way of making the Savonius windmill where it doesn't spin independently of an outer structure. I can create a carriage for this thing that'd be stronger. So it would be sitting inside of a carriage. But yeah, that's an interesting idea, collapsible. I'm afraid your credibility, Mr. Hot Tranny Boy, is already down in the dumpster. Oh, tornado winds? Well, tornado winds will take down the electric poles, so we're having a kind of a moot point discussion. If the electric pole goes down, there's no way I'm going to say that this is going to stay standing. What if an asteroid hits it? Will it survive an asteroid hit? All right, so let's get some music going here. Woo! Yeah. We met Bina, and she's not good with sex at all.
I can't get low, low, and I can't get high, high. Let's take it slow, slow, all through the night.
What's going on with that? But I just tell them I'm rapping. Just go along with that. And I got nothing to lose, but anything to gain. See, I ain't scared of the danger, and I'm used to the pain.
So let me tell you about what we're doing here. Let me remove my dancing guy here. Yeah, we came up with a concept where the government can get a return on investment and can power up an infrastructure bank offering 2% loans to U.S. companies hiring U.S. citizens. You know, I don't know what the pulling the nine on that. This is a scissor fight song, so I have to just go with the flow here. Submit your application to become a NASA astronaut, everybody. So apparently NASA doesn't need many talents. You just have to be able to sit inside of a water container and pretend like you're hanging in space. They're looking for crisis actors to participate in their program, but pretending like they actually can go into space. Yeah. Submit your application right now. You can become one of their water hangers. Those people that hang in water. Good night, Sunstar. Take it easy. Sleep well. Yeah, have you seen some of the, I know I've seen some of the technology. I know Scissor Fight's seen some of the technology on our shows. But NASA has got this amazing cover-up thing going on. Never a straight answer. That's another phrase for NASA. But NASA admits they can't send humans through the Van Allen belts, and they've actually said it right in front of the American people on film. Look at these people hanging in water. Or whatever, jumpsuits.
The future of space exploration, the emerge of private space sector and daily life in space.
Yes.
These are among the topics we discussed today with two special guests from International Space Station. Terry Wirtz, the current ISS commander, and Samantha Cristoforetti, the first Italian female astronaut in space.
These two bozos are suspended from cables in front of a green screen. Check it out. Use wire harnesses. Yeah, it's absurd.
Hi Terry, buongiorno Samantha.
Buongiorno.
Thank you very much for joining us on Euronews.
Yes.
I would like to start by asking how you feel about the other 3 crew members returning to Earth. As the next crew will arrive at the end of March, do you feel a bit lonely up there in space?
You know, it was sad seeing.
Blah blah blah. Let's get to the point. Let me see if I can hang in space.
And what comes after the International Space Station once its mission is over? How do we ensure the presence of humans in space?
Well, that's a great question. The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today, and it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board.
Oh, they'll be
as
able
well
to
as landers or other components to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit.
We can only fly in Earth orbit. See that? They're admitting it right in front of you. Because there's Van Allen belts that prevent the Apollo program from ever getting out of the space that they were in. They can only go 230 miles above the Earth's surface.
We only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So
hopefully we'll be able to go to the moon someday. According to them, we will someday be able to do this, but we clearly haven't. You can see how clear they are and how blurry the background is, yeah. I cut them off. The shuttle program could only go into Earth orbit because they were never able to break out of the Van Allen belts. When they got close to the Van Allen belts, the tiles burned off. That's the truth. Did a Nigerian mathematician really solve the Riemann hypothesis? Quite recently, false reports of a Nigerian mathematician solving the Riemann hypothesis has been spreading. It's a 156-year-old math problem proposed by the German mathematician Bernhard Riemann, and is considered by some mathematicians to be the most important unresolved problem in pure mathematics. Okay. A lot of Nigerians have been tied to cases of fabrication. Although that might not be the case. We don't know if this guy's truly solving a formula or not. You know, that's a sidetrack. I'm going to leave that by itself. Let's go back to this video talking about how NASA will someday be able to, travel out of Earth's orbit. What a concept.
Moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to.
We could go to the moon, maybe. You think?
And we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually.
Let's hear about the Orion spacecraft. Yeah, gold foil.
Orion is getting ready to launch.
Whoop-de-doo. More wasted money.
My name is Kelly Smith, and I work on navigation and guidance for Orion. Orion is NASA's next-generation spacecraft. Built with versatility in mind, it can take astronauts deeper into space than we've ever gone before, to an asteroid or even onto Mars. For these missions, Orion has to be one tough spacecraft, withstanding high speeds, searing temperatures, and extreme radiation. Before we can send astronauts into space on Orion, we have to test all of its systems. And there's only one way to know if we got it right. No astronauts will be aboard. The spacecraft is loaded with sensors to record and measure all aspects of the flight in every detail. It all begins with launch, aboard a Delta IV as the spacecraft and the upper stage begin their first lap around Earth. Mission Control in Houston is monitoring the progress of the flight. Orion's over 100 miles up and going about 17,000 miles per hour. Just as it passes over the Indian Ocean, we lose communication. As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belts, an area of dangerous radiation.
Dangerous. They start 1,000 miles above the Earth. And by the way, let's just say this. The moon is 238,000 miles away. Okay? We've only been 230 miles off the face of the Earth. Maybe 300 in the early Apollo program, but they burned up. Bottom line is, they could not possibly have carried a payload of fuel to get them all the way to the moon. 238,000 miles, let alone 238 miles. That's as far as the space shuttle could go. They went 238,000 miles, somehow landed a lunar module, and managed to walk around with all kinds of flaws in the photography, which have been revealed by countless studies have been done on the photography from NASA. All the pictures are black and white, even though they had color photography. All the pictures from NASA are redacted, and they've actually had marking pens on the upper sections, which would, the only reason why they'd use marking pens in the upper section is to completely cover the rafters of the studio that they shot the moon landing in the UK. Studio that was used by Stanley Kubrick, and he allowed them to use it for 4 days. And if you look down this entire story of the moon landing and you realize, oh wow, they somehow came back with a lunar module that could somehow break through the Van Allen belts again with hardly any fuel on board, that somehow returned another 238,000 miles. You see, it's so preposterous that they threw the idea out there that we landed on the moon, and the lunar module returning to Earth from the moon must have been some sort of a spacecraft with a pointed shape, right? Because it has to get through the Van Allen belts, right? Well, this is from the lunar module pictures that they claimed were coming back from the moon. These are all photographs that were all doctored. Everything on the NASA site is doctored. You notice how there's when you look at the lunar module, there's a rounded surface on the return vehicle. Let me show you. Well, the whip around slingshot back to Earth is a theory that doesn't add up. Sorry. There's all this space debris in between us and the moon. To say that we just magically whipped around and pulled that gravitational field, just jettisoned back, and there's no gravitational field around the moon per se that we could have used to jettison back to the Earth, other than the simple gravitational field that connects the Earth and the moon. But what's really concerning is that somehow this vehicle managed to dock with the host vehicle, and they've studied this craft. You can't possibly get two men in spacesuits into this craft. It's impossible. It's so confining that it couldn't possibly have two people on board in spacesuits, but that's regardless. Okay, somehow it docked with this vehicle, and this vehicle somehow, with this very, very oblique and rounded top, somehow manages to get them back in this vehicle, and they're able to come through the barrier of the Van Allen belts. When at the point of that rocket would have had to have been just as sharp as the rocket that took off Apollo 11. And there's this video of Neil Armstrong, which remember, I was in 1969. I watched this just like everyone else, and I believed it. And I still believed it all the way up until recently when I started looking at the hard facts closely in our show. And I'm beginning to believe that the reason why we haven't been back to the moon in 47 years is because we never went to the moon. It's that simple. Apply Occam's razor, a simple argument in logic that the most likely possibility is the real reason why something is the way it is. We haven't gone back because we never went. It's that simple. It really is. It's not a gleaming, brilliant thing to say, oh, yes, we somehow went there and came back and we decided we didn't want to go. And recently, the director of NASA said openly that we will never mine anything off the moon. I've got all kinds of moon debunking videos that I could play you, but it doesn't matter. Either you believe the possibility that we could come back or not. You look at all the stuff that we have here, and you see when the conspiracy of lies surrounding me demands that I silence the one word of truth given to me. This video, the words become the one word I wish to utter above all others. Roger. Roger to Leonard.
Honeysuckle, this is Houston. Contact. Can you support a quick remoting check at this time?
Certainly can. All configured.
This is Houston. Contact with a test. 1, 2, 3.
Hear all those kindergarten tones?
5.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. End of test.
These tones were to trigger the ground station transmitters.
Okay, we checked all 4 systems, and you were go on modulation, all 4, and keying was a go.
Roger, you're loud and clear here also. Voice control, Houston. Contact net 2.
Voice control.
Roger, Honeysuckle is go.
These are signals that they were told to stop the video because it appeared too much like the Earth.
In that order. Okay, we copy that. 6 in that order. Okay, we copy that.
Question and answer. At this time, I'd like to introduce
in that order. Okay,
copy
we copy that.
Playback speed. Now watch. You see things drop at ground speed. The purpose of these kindar tones is far more sinister. They're directly related to advanced video editing systems utilized during the Apollo missions in order to hide the truth from you.
Just this side, no more.
The tones coincide with the astronaut jump.
And Dave and Jim, this will be probably our last document.
And they've got pictures in here of how things are dropping at Earth's gravity on the Apollo mission. And that's when those kindar tones played. They cut that video out. It's the grandest visual deception in human history. Okay, watch this falling soil sample automatically adjust the contrast to scene to compensate. But look what happens when he picks up some soil and it drops it. Earth, see that? Earth's gravity. See that? Rewind. Watch this. Earth's gravity. Boom. That's how fast it falls on Earth's gravity. It's supposed to fall 5 times slower on the moon. Okay, now look at the response from Neil Armstrong when he stated things that were just absurd in a weird conversation that looks like he's on Valium. This is a man who allegedly went to the moon and back and was debriefed for 18 hours before he spoke in front of cameras. Watch this.
The Apollo 11 crew, astronauts Neil Armstrong, Michael Collins, Edwin Aldrin.
Valium.
Neil?
It was our pleasure to have participated in one great adventure. It's an adventure that took place not just in the month of July, but rather one that took place in the last decade. We all here and the people listening in today had the opportunity to share that adventure over its developing and unfolding in the past months and years.
I'm sorry, but nothing tells me they're actually people that went to the moon. Sorry. He looked like a stroke victim, exactly. All right, you got excuses for everything. You Democrats, you even think Obama still has done a good job. You Democrats still think Obama's a good leader. You are so out of touch with reality, it's unbelievable. This president has put us at the brink of war with Russia. We're now at a situation where we can barely even figure out what our foreign policy is. And you Democrats, you want war with Syria. That's how completely lost you are. Campaign's going very well. Faint taste, there's a growing amount of awareness on the internet. You're probably unaware of it because you spent most of your life watching TV. But there is a huge number of people right now that are waking up to the lies that they've been told in the mainstream media. So when I grab people who are questioning whether we went to the moon or not, that's a vote in my pocket. Because we know Donald Trump will not question anything. We know that Hillary Clinton will not question anything. And if you mention 911, Donald Trump starts talking about how they sent Muslims over to Pakistan and they sent them back home. He talks about Muslims all the time, like that's all he has on his mind. Muslims and China. It's absurd. When the real issue is, why didn't the 9/11 Commission even question that it was a detonation? Why didn't they ask the question, were there explosions? And yes, there were. I mean, you got a couple of real paid puppets there with Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. And if you believe those kind of votes are the ones I need, they're not. I need people who are aware, who are waking up to the lies and deceit their country has engaged in for the past 50 years. We have to have an online revolution awakening the American people to the unbelievable, unparalleled lies that are being forced down our throats, because that is exactly why we're in trouble. Because we've listened to their lies, and we've led down the road to ruin by their lies. This is an online revolution we're having. I know it doesn't seem that way, but it's a very slow process. No, Technology Thursday deals with technology deception. It's part of our plan to talk about that. But yeah, I'll play the rest of this video for you if you want. Hey, 10-4, good buddy. I got you. This is the rocket.
Radiation like this could harm the guidance systems, onboard computers, or other electronics on Orion. Naturally, we have to pass through this danger zone twice. Once up and once back.
True, Major. Didn't the Apollo mission already do this? Yeah.
But Orion has protection.
Good question.
Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Yeah, really.
It's great to be a part of this first space flight for Orion, and we're looking forward to beginning a new chapter in human space exploration.
Yeah. It looks like Orion is the next Apollo 2.0. Same script, different year. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I do believe that I have to talk about other things tonight besides this. So how are we going to create hybrid capitalism? Well, in our book, Hybrid Capitalism, which we have for sale on our site, which will be available for free download chapter by chapter in 2016, we talk about how we can spark the economy, creating government jobs, ironically, that help pay for the future government jobs because they produce products. Now you see this marijuana leaf that I have out here in front of you? The first thing I'll do is legalize marijuana. Recreational use is going to be legalized across the nation. And what we will do is take the money that we receive in taxes, no more than 15% tax, because anything more would be hurting the business of marijuana sales or edibles or medicinals. But the potential for creating solutions that are based on marijuana and cannabis and hemp are enormous. It's going to stimulate the economy in areas that we need to get the revenue necessary to create new inventions like that Savonius windmill I was talking about. This thing, that's going to need some money. So we have to generate some revenue. We can't just use your tax dollars to create these things. But legalization of marijuana is the first step, and it can happen instantaneously as soon as I become president. I will pass the law, the executive order, that will eliminate it from the list of controlled substances. In other words, I'm going to decriminalize it nationally. Okay? Now, some people have argued, well, you can't overturn Congress's act, the Clean Air, the Controlled Substances Act. Well, it's true, I can't overturn it, but I can make it so it can't be executed. They can execute these orders in their mind, but as president, I can cease any criminal prosecution of possession or processing or growth of marijuana. Bernie hasn't done anything. Bernie actually took, up until last month, he would never legalize marijuana, and now he wants to legalize it. And he's being talked to by people who are medical marijuana vendors that want to make money on it. Bernie is totally like a putty in the hands of corporate elitists. He doesn't have a backbone, I told you that. He's spineless. Well, the bullet would go into one direction, simply because it has momentum. And if there's no friction, theoretically, it could go on forever. But there is friction in space. Space is not a vacuum. Anyone who argues that space has got nothing in it and you can simply grab the outer layer of the gravitational belt and slingshot your way to the moon and slingshot your way back is a fool. Because there's so many different pieces of debris in between you and the moon. And I have to reiterate, we've never gone beyond 300 miles off the face of the Earth with any test vehicles, even satellites. And one of the verifications I used to lock down on this idea that the moon was fake is a simple statement: show me a picture of the Earth that is not an animation, that is not artistically drawn. You can go all over the internet and find a picture of the Earth. All of it is coming from the original picture of the Earth, which is the blue marble Earth picture. It was a beautiful picture that's been animated with the clouds stationary, and it rotates, and it looks beautiful. It really does. It's a great animation. I mean, I have it right here for you to look at if you want. Earth, the final frontier. It's a beautiful picture. It looks great on camera. You think, well, yeah, they took a picture of the Earth. No, there's no picture of the Earth there. That's just an animation. And like I said, the telltale sign that it is an animation, it is fake, is there's actually no real picture of the Earth from a satellite outside the Earth. There's only side views. There's some great side views. Yeah, it's beautiful. Watch the show, yeah. Watch the dancing ball. So basically, you've been watching bread and circuses, eating bread and watching circuses, and the American people have been lied to and deceived so long that you would never question anything. Gosh. But the Earth is a beautiful place from a side angle. This is one of our satellites from a side angle in orbit, showing you the beauty of the Earth. It's stunning. It's beautiful, and we have the technology to go into our upper atmosphere. We have that. It's no problem. But we can't get out of the Van Allen belts right now. And what he said actually was true. The Orion project is designed to do just that. Someday get out of the Van Allen belts. But we'll see. How are you doing?
She has a meeting and she'll be home about 9.
Okay, great.
Do you need a break or are you okay?
I'm fine, yeah.
Is it okay to watch?
Yeah, you come on in. This is my sister. She's here after traveling across the country, around the world to Australia. She's back on a long trip, My sister Connie.
The world is behind you, right?
Yeah. Somebody said that there's a reflector plate that they bounce off of on the moon, and no one can show me a picture of it. No one can give me any real close sighting of this reflector plate that they claim is there.
It's where is it? Where is it?
Supposedly on the moon, yeah.
On the moon? Well, didn't other ETs or whatever we want to call them land there? And
well, we don't know anything about ETs. We have no evidence of ETs at this point.
Oh. Okay.
Do you have evidence of ETs?
Oh, only on Mars. On Mars, they have pictures of a little what looks like a square
Pyramid.
couple of square holes. Well, there's actually square holes in mountains on Mars that look like they were built by some sort of other group.
Okay.
They're square and they look like they're, you can go into them and see what's inside. But that's the latest from NASA, the pictures that NASA's taking.
Okay, well,
Can we believe NASA? Never a straight answer. NASA.
Never a straight answer. I just told people that was what we talked about. Hey, this is the first plasma that was just generated by Germany's new nuclear fusion machine. It's a large dingleberry floating in space.
A dingleberry? What is a dingleberry?
I don't know. So it's generated the first plasma.
Well, now plasma will do what?
We don't really know anything about this. I mean, they're experimenting with an Odyssey, and they don't know what they're doing, kind of thing. They're thinking they're going to create antimatter over at the Hadron Collider. Well,
what is antimatter? Can we explain that?
Well, antimatter really doesn't matter at this point, because if we develop
I'm antimatter altogether. I think I'll disappear.
If we develop antimatter, the entire world will be sucked into it, and will be a wormhole, essentially. And the Earth will collapse into the antimatter, and the whole Earth will just suck into a hole, and we'll all be dead. So it won't really matter whether we have
won't have any
antimatter.
problems anymore. Can you imagine, Dave? No more problems.
Pacific wants to know, Connie, do you believe the Paris attacks were real?
I do not. I believe that people died. Probably. I haven't seen the bodies.
I believe people died,
have you seen
but
the
I haven't
bodies?
seen any bodies. No,
Well,
only
okay.
pictures.
Well, I believe there was some damage and maybe some people hurt, but I do not believe. I believe that now Hollande is now more popular than ever, and his popularity was waning. And whenever a leader's popularity is waning, a false flag suddenly appears. And then boom, he saves the day. Like when Bush came in and said, "Yeah, well, we're going to help after the towers here. We're going to help," and his popularity rose, and so did that of the New York mayor. What was his name?
Giuliani.
Yeah, suddenly his popularity got higher too. So.
Well, what about the thought of our robotic president, who actually is a robot?
Scary.
Yeah. Well, we have technology now that's advancing so fast that we can't explain why Barack Obama has a chip or some sort of scar on his head. And
well, he might have had a minor brain tumor, and they took care of it.
But don't you think that would be an important issue for the American people to know, if our president had a brain tumor and they opened up half his head and just decided to operate on it? I mean,
didn't what's his name? Who was the fella? So damn insane. Saddam Hussein, so damn insane is what Clinton used to call him. They had doubles and triples, and they had guys that looked exactly like him, and they'd put them in, wherever the meetings were, so that he wouldn't get harmed. They'd put in these lookalike guys. Maybe what we've got is some kind of lookalike, and we've lost the other guy.
Okay, well, maybe the guy we have now is a lookalike, and maybe the guy we lost had a scar on his head. I don't know.
Maybe he objected to being controlled, and maybe he was killed, and maybe we have some imposter.
I don't think this guy objected to anything in his entire life. I think he's pretty much said whatever people told him to do.
I agree, because you know more about this than I do.
Well, I've never seen Obama assert himself individually. He's always just read off a teleprompter. So,
who's a man?
Amanda Simpson was the first transgender Obama ordered as his.
Really?
Yeah.
Boy, she's a good-looking guy.
Well, it's a man, Simpson. Okay.
He's a good-looking guy, though. Okay.
Well, what you did, Faint Taste, is asked a question about my sister supporting my campaign, which is irrelevant.
Yay!
It's irrelevant.
I want Dave for president.
It's just, but you ask questions that are irrelevant like that. I'm not going to have you question my sister's integrity here on the show.
What do you mean? I have plenty of integrity.
Exactly, and we're not going to allow you to question her integrity.
You can question me about David. I think he should be president, definitely.
Thank you.
I can't see anybody else who's even approaches the ideas that he has.
Well,
He's got great ideas.
Thank you. What if Barack Obama changed his name to Barry Soetoro and ran as a presidential candidate again? Would many of you vote for him? How many people would vote for Barry Soetoro in the upcoming election? You can go ahead. I won't ban you for saying you'll vote for Barry Soetoro if he's running.
Nobody's raising their hand, David.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of people wanting to vote
I don't think
for
they
him.
want this guy back. Why would they watch you, knowing that you don't care for him? If they're going to go vote for him again.
I'm just testing the waters here for Barry.
Well, I think you know that your followers are in your court. Generally, are in your court. I don't think you have a lot of non-followers here.
I know. Well,
They like to listen to your ideas. So.
We record the shows too, so that people can watch them in perpetuity. And
Great.
someday we'll be able to actually look back on our time here and say, "Wow,
soaring in the atmosphere.
isn't this a beautiful
I feel like I'm in the universe. Just
So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that our space program is a complete joke. I'm saying that we have a lot of opportunity to develop space mining opportunities on the moon with unmanned vehicles. We can get an unmanned vehicle out of the Van Allen belts. I'm fairly sure we could, but then again, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, if we never got a picture of the Earth from behind, it's questionable that we even can get out of the Van Allen belts, but maybe someday we will be able to do that.
unwomaned. They always say unmanned, but they never say unwomaned.
Yeah,
Anyway.
well.
But I think that you should present some of your ideas again. You've got great ideas.
Yeah, well, we do. Our Technology Thursday show has a series of little props that we bring into the show that are interesting to look at. Let me just show you some of our ideas, our concepts. We have the maglev wind farm idea, where we build a maglev rail train and power it up and run it, and use the money we get from the electricity to finance the track construction.
And how about lots of cows, so they can just throw that wind at the wind machine, with their wind.
Well, no, we have another option for cows too. The flatulence that emanating from cows obviously is a greenhouse gas issue. We have a solution for that, embracing the dairy digester concept and going one step farther with...
so they have to wear that rig? They have to wear that?
Well, maybe not that, but a compression butt plug would be something they could use. Something that,
Well, you know what'll happen if it doesn't go out there? Where will it go?
Well, it will go into a compression system that will store the methane in a small canister.
It might make them blow up.
So you'll have a lot of concentrated butt gases from the cow.
They call it wind in England. They say, "Oh, I have wind. I hope you would excuse me. I've got wind."
Okay.
They always say that.
We want to know more about your world travels.
Oh, well.
Because that's something that's really
You have
fun.
to know about the Aussies. They're a pretty happy group, because it's always "Good on, mate," and "No worries." If you hear "no worries," you'll hear it like every third or fourth word is or sentence. "No worries, no worries." So apparently they have no worries, but they have had 4 prime ministers in 3 years. So I think they've got a lot of worries, but they like to say no worries, and they're generally
their
happy.
attitude,
They
yeah.
seem to be happier than us. When you're on the street walking around, I see more smiles than I see in America.
More smiles in Australia, I see that.
And New Zealanders are very reserved. They're more like the English, but the Aussies are more like Americans. Because when I was in Australia, I felt like I was in America. I really said, "You guys are very gregarious, outgoing. I'm feeling like I'm home," and they like that.
Good.
Because they like America. They think that, this leader is this great leader. And I said, no. You need to do some reading, and you need to look at alternative media. Don't look at mainstream media anymore.
No.
So they really, many of them I talked to like the guy. So
They shouldn't like him because they don't get the real stories about how the American people don't like him. So they've got an altered view in Europe and in Australia about Barack Obama.
And we hardly can do anything to change we can't stop, we stopped the Syrian war before, remember? Everybody wrote in and stopped the Syrian war.
Oh, yeah.
And now we have to write in again and say no Syrian war.
We should.
So everybody needs to be writing in, because your girls are going to be in what's the word? Drafted, and all girls 18 to 25 are going to be drafted. These are girls that are your daughters. They're going to be boots on the ground, because they're going to put them next to the guys, and I'm sure they're going to throw them in the barracks with the guys. Now, what kind of problems is that going to?
Well, you're going to have the girls, the guys, and the transgenders all together in a massive love fest in the middle of a barracks. God knows what's going to happen.
Whoever came up with the idea of putting women with the boots on the ground at 18 to 25, excuse me?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm against it, by the way.
In Israel, they have them with guns, and they show them walking around. But Israel has no boots on the ground. And it's weird that ISIS has not done anything to Israel.
Yeah, I know. You're right. Israel has been unchecked at all.
Why doesn't anybody ever question that?
Well, that's because ISIS stands for Israeli Secret Intelligence Service.
You got it.
People didn't know this.
I knew that, but
I know,
don't know that.
They don't know that.
And nobody ever they never go after Israelis. And I did listen to Israeli news last night, David, twice.
Yeah.
And I listened to 2 different programs, and they said, they talk about how many bombs are lobbed over, but they forget to tell how small the bombs are.
Oh.
I mean, they're going into neighborhoods. They're small rockets, but they're really small compared to what the Israelis have, which is a huge arsenal of nuclear bombs plus other bombs. I mean, they have this huge. Guess who supplied them with all their arms?
Yeah.
We did.
We did.
So we've armed the Israelis, and they're complaining about the Palestinians, who, of course, are throwing bombs over into the Israeli neighborhoods, and they are. But the Israeli neighborhood is in a place that was supposed to be a Palestinian area, so they're trying to get them out of there.
Well, this recent push for ISIS, or rather Syrian refugees, to come into the country, many people are saying it's like a Trojan horse.
Well, if you know the history of the Islamic religion, you know that the 7th century they had the same problem we're having now, same exact.
Exactly.
And they had to fight it, and the Crusades were all about getting the Islamists out of taking over all of Europe. And look at the wonderful, amazing stuff that has come out of Europe. And I mean, I'm not saying the white man is some fabulous, but white people generally are very self-critical, hugely self-critical. And we know if people ever say to you, "Hey, well, what about slavery? And what about what the white man did to the black?" They say, "Have you looked at what Islam did with slavery?
Yeah.
And slavery with that religion, the Muslim religion, and slavery is huge compared to anything the white man has ever done to any other race."
Well,
but
they
nobody talks
killed
about
people.
That.
The 600 Jewish people surrendered to Muhammad, and he in turn executed them all. And he
Sounds
went
like what they do.
They just go in and then they replicate that these people have lots of children, and I have no problem with people having children. I have no problem with people pursuing their religious freedom. I have a problem with people wanting to kill people that don't agree with them.
You don't do that. You
I know.
let people have their opinion. I mean, it's only ethical. It's only the right thing to do. I asked a woman today on the phone. I said, "Do you know what ethics is?" Because I was arguing with her,
Yeah,
and
really?
she said, "Yes, it's when you know right from wrong. Does your company have a set of ethics?" "Well, I think you'll have to call the international number."
Yeah, really.
And then
They don't have ethics. They don't teach ethics. Diamond is no longer the strongest form of carbon after this new discovery.
What is the strongest form of carbon?
A team of materials materials scientists from North Carolina are discovering this Q carbon. It's made in a lab, and it's stronger
pretty.
than a diamond. Now, there's a book called The Diamond Age. It's a sci-fi book. It talks about impenetrable barriers and domes sitting over our world made out of diamonds using nanoparticles.
Wow.
We're getting closer and closer to the possibility of a force field, a diamond force field over our Earth.
You mean to
or
protect
over our
us
country,
from...
over our country, protect us from other countries.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
So
would
we
be
could
nice.
very well, every country could have this diamond force field nullifying the dangers of weapons.
Well, I did find out that diamonds do not have much value as a resale. When I tried to sell back diamonds,
Right.
suddenly they were worth $100 for the ring that was actually purchased for $2,000. Now, what a scam is going on out there. People, the guys are pressured. But guys are pressured to buy diamonds for their ladies. But you guys try to sell that ring back? You forget it. It is a scam, you guys. And
Thanks,
I know
Jen.
you want to show your love for your lady, but find her something else, because
Yeah.
a diamond is not really. It's just a pretty crystal that apparently can cut through metal. I don't know. Can diamonds cut through metal?
Well, yeah, diamonds cut through metal. This could cut through metal, but the reality is De Beers Diamond Company generated the buzz for diamonds. They're the ones that came up with the idea that diamonds are a girl's best friend. They came up with advertising ploys,
It's
and then
propaganda.
they bought up land in various parts of our country where diamonds are prevalent.
It's propaganda.
So they
I think.
created a false market. They've limited the amount of things that are available.
Well, think about it. If you started saying that
Creating value.
ice cream was going to make you live 20 years longer,
Mm-hmm.
okay, how many people would be out there buying ice cream? And they like it anyway. But it's
It
propaganda.
doesn't. It makes you die. Actually, they found that hard sugar, lowers your lifespan significantly.
And we were raised on white sugar. I was.
know.
White
all
sugar
were.
and white flour I was raised on. And I only started eating salads at 16. I had a healthy baby, and which is amazing at an older age. I had a healthy baby. So
Right.
I say to women, start eating healthy now, you'll have healthier babies.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, that was loud.
We're
I have
getting
to.
off topic.
Yeah,
But
let's
I know
change
we're-
the subject
we were
here.
talking about,
Yeah, we don't want to have random tangential talks on Thursday.
no
that's
tangents.
that's designed for Tangential Tuesday. We used to have a show called that.
Oh, and what's tonight?
Technology Thursday.
Oh my gosh, your technology person is not here.
Oh, that's okay. She's
But you're the technology person.
I've got lots of technology.
You're the tech guy.
Here's a picture of that concert hall that the only picture, by the way, that we got of the concert hall. And it's
Oh, there was
strange.
3 white men shooters with army tattoos.
You're talking about San Bernardino shooting now? I'm
Oh.
back to Paris shooting right
no,
now.
I'm talking about Paris. I'm talking about 3 white male shooters. Oh, wait, maybe I'm getting it mixed up with San Bernardino.
You are
I think
you're
right.
mixing
Sorry.
you're mixing
Sorry.
false flag stories.
Excuse me.
Okay,
What's
so
the difference?
yeah, really. Well, this carnage right here, which you can't see now because it's been redacted, but these are the original pictures.
Okay.
It's almost like they decided to paint an eye with the blood. Now, how can bodies all around the bodies themselves in the middle are not no blood around them at all, but there's bodies painted in an eye, and some people have gone so far as to call this an Illuminati
The Illuminati
reference.
sacrifice.
Yeah, well, even if these aren't even real people, they might be just people pretending to take a picture. But
Can we get any closer than that? Is that as close as we can get?
you can't even find this picture on the internet that easily. It's been
It
blurred
looks
out.
a little clearer on the right than the one on the left, but that's because you zoomed in.
Yeah, but what we're looking at here is a line that appears to look just like an eye, and people are saying this is some sort of a reference point to their sick joke. And by the way, this is the only photograph we have. This would be the eye here.
Right.
And it always follows with that line right there, and then it sweeps around here.
But David, my question is, why do they pick on the young people? Why do they go after young people who are at a concert when they, in fact, people over 60 or 70 are looked down upon in many cultures because they're no longer of any use, but the 20-somethings are actually of use.
There are pools
They'll
of
still
blood.
make
There are
money.
pools of blood.
They'll still make money and they'll still pay taxes. But people over 70 are about to kick off. Why didn't they choose like a couple senior centers?
Okay, so you're asking, this is the question you're asking, why would a bunch of psychotic elitists want to target young people when they really should just target old people?
Well, not really. I'm saying that.
I ask you, why would a psychotic elitist care about whether a person's dead or alive? I mean, come on.
Okay,
We're talking about people who are above the law, who don't ever face prosecution,
So they don't discriminate. Okay.
and they don't care who they kill or who they use or who they blow up. We played a video the other night of that woman that claimed killed herself with a bomb.
Oh, I didn't.
She was held captive. We have her audio of her saying, "I don't want to be held captive." She was held captive, and they hit her with a grenade launcher.
Was she a retarded?
They killed her with a no. She wasn't retarded. I mean, this is a sacrifice of human beings
No, they are
engaged to start a false flag to create more war.
Well, they're using retarded people, though,
Yes.
sometimes to do these false flags.
I don't care if they're retarded. It doesn't matter to me.
But I'm sorry she was killed.
That's
didn't see-
irrelevant.
I didn't
That's
know
irrelevant to the point
I
that she
didn't
was
know about
killed.
her. I don't know a thing
Yeah,
about
that's my
her.
sister.
I had no idea about
Well,
this
she was
lady.
killed. If
I'm
you'd like,
sorry.
I'll bring that up and we'll play that video for you. We have it on cue.
Well, I don't want you to redo what you've already done.
No, I mean, I don't mind talking about false flags on Technology Thursday, but we've got some technology like this latest Microsoft hologram, the HoloLens. Yeah.
HoloLens? What does that do?
I don't know.
It's the HoloLens.
The HoloLens headset from Microsoft is the world's first untethered wearable that generates holograms before your eyes. It's been nearly a year since we first strapped on a prototype, and as the Tech Goliath prepares to unleash the first batch of units to developers in the coming months, I was invited to check out first how the technology has come.
And how will it help us?
Yeah.
What will it do to help us?
It's going to give a lot of really rich kids an opportunity to, play around with their toys.
Okay, so it's going to be a money
It'll be a money
It's just
maker for the people that control the world.
Because I thought maybe they're going to hologram some beautiful lady, and some man can pretend that he's put his arms around her, but she's not really there.
Hey, look, I'm not venting my anger against anybody here. I'm just angry in general that we've been lied to. I would think you would be too. But many of you are still in deep, deep denial, thinking that all these false flags are real.
Hi. People are saying hi.
It looks like Al Jazeera's logo.
Oh,
wow.
Hey, let's bring up the topic of unlocked phones.
Settle
unlocked
down.
phones. Because that's technology.
Okay, let's talk about people that are having contract problems with their phones.
Well, when a phone
what do you
is
mean by
locked,
unlocked? Yeah.
When a phone is locked, then
Okay.
you cannot use it with another company or in another country. That's unethical. When you lock a phone, then you can only use it with Telstra of Australia, which is the big phone company. It's a monopoly in Australia called Telstra. So you come back to the U.S. and you want it unlocked. Because it shouldn't have been locked in the first place. If you want to change companies, you should be able to. But you buy a phone, that's your own phone, you bought it, right? But the company
Theoretically,
that
yeah.
supplies you with the free unlimited text and talk locks the phone, your phone that belonged to you,
Yeah.
which is totally unethical.
I know.
And then you have to pay someone to unlock it so you can use it in this country. Well, that's irritating because that's how much of a monopoly Telstra is.
So you have to hack into the phone to unlock it from the proprietary vendor which sold the phone,
But
so that
you
you can
bought
use
the
it for
phone.
something
That
else.
was your
Yeah.
phone.
You
You
think
didn't buy
bought
it from Telstra.
Yeah, but-
You bought it from Samsung.
But remember,
And yet they allow Telstra to, maybe somebody's paying them off so that they can have these locked phones.
well, first of all, the phones are worth probably $200-300, and you're getting them
Yeah.
for $20.
I am?
No, yeah.
I didn't.
Well, what did you pay for it?
65.
Okay, you paid $65 for a phone that has over $200 in technology in it, and the reason in Europe's set because you can't access the full features of the
Now
phone
I
with
have
another
to
network.
pay a guy
Yeah.
to unlock it, who they will do it because it's basically unethical. And then I pay a guy that I've got to pay more, and then I got to find a company that. I'm just irritated because these companies are allowed to lock your property, and that's supposed to be your property. But wait a minute, nothing is our property because everything is a debt, right? Everything is a Federal Reserve note is a debt. So there is really we don't own. I don't even own the shirt on my back.
Wow.
Because it's all bought with Federal Reserve notes. And those are all debt notes, right? So we don't own anything, do we?
I disagree. I believe that you own your body. Your
That's
body,
about it.
your body. You should not have vaccinations forced upon you or your children.
I'm a no-vaxxer.
We're
Yeah.
no-vaxxers here.
Mhm.
You should not be forced to eat GMO food by your markets that don't label properly.
We're slowly shutting down Monsanto. So just everybody keep watch. 2016. We're working on it. And I'm an activist for that.
Wait until Microsoft takes over your computer with Windows 10. Yeah, I haven't downloaded Windows 10.
I haven't. They keep reminding me. But I know if I do, what happens, Dave? You tell them what happens.
Well, if you do unlock Windows 10 and upgrade,
If you upgrade, yeah.
you can take your computer in the other room and upgrade for free.
Right.
What happens is the operating system takes up 2 gigabytes of RAM just to get that pretty picture with the blocks on it.
But they're also watching you all the time.
And they're watching you. They're
And
accessing your
tracking
camera.
everything you do.
Yeah.
And so I covered my camera with a piece of tape.
Mhm.
Tape
Yeah.
you can't see through.
Sure.
So nobody can actually see me on my computer, even when they're Skyping. So I covered it up. I think everybody should cover up their camera unless you're Skyping.
So
live.
$20 to $30 is the common rate for unlocking cell phones.
That's about what I'm paying tomorrow.
Okay. And yeah, Microsoft is starting to lease software because they don't want to run any upgrades on any of the older software plans. They don't want to do any backups. Remember, Windows itself was built on a mountain of bad code. The original Windows operating system was literally collapsing. So they built more code, more bad code to prop it up. And as they went through these different changes over the years, they charged everybody for that. And now they don't even want to provide service and prevent any backdoor hacks from getting into that original software like XP and all the others, Windows NT and etc.
Maybe you should address this one right here.
You can use remote control moded by your female friend's boyfriend to change the traffic lights. Yeah, I believe it.
Which could cause people's deaths.
That could cause accidents, yeah.
Why would you want to do that unless you're a psychotic?
Well, maybe he is psychotic.
Mm.
You can change street lights in your mind, yeah. Well, you're not the only one with that technology. Ambulances have it. This is open source technology in many ways. So, you're not figuring anything out. You're actually creating crisis.
What are the cars that are safe, by the way, from being controlled? There was a year that you told me that they were made where if you have that year or below, your car is safe from being controlled remotely.
Yeah, well,
What year was that? You gave me a year.
2005 and after, the OBD2 system was updated to include Wi-Fi. So any car built after 2005, most cars after 2005 have the ability to be hacked from external sources using Wi-Fi. Okay, this is a much better picture. This shows you the line. It's almost looked like they painted the blood.
But wouldn't a lot more kids be lying down there? I mean, in a concert, isn't it packed?
Yeah, well,
How come there's only 20 kids?
Yeah, there's only a few kids there, but everyone left. That's the theory.
What do you mean? They walked out as zombies? I mean,
no, they ran away through a back entrance. Whatever. I mean, that doesn't look right either. But take a look at this.
You'd think there'd be a lot more kids, Dave. Not that I ever want it to be. I never want it to be. If my child was there, I mean, I would be devastated.
Well, of course, and ironically, one of the major, Geraldo Rivera, his daughter was broadcasting and claimed that she was in 2 different locations. So that's suspicious. Geraldo Rivera was in 2 different locations. His daughter was.
And she was going to be at that concert?
She was there, and he was all broken up on camera talking about it.
But
what really bothers me about this picture, and I know this may be, morbidity to you, but you'll notice how the bloodline goes in a circle around here to make an eye, and then the same eyelid, which is...
why is there a dragging as if bodies were
Yeah,
dragged?
exactly. But look at this.
Did they drag bodies
Now,
into
say
place?
they did drag the bodies out here. You'll notice that the bloodline drops at that point. There is no blood in the carpeting in this region. So if they were pulling these bodies out with a bloodline there, you'll notice that there's absolutely no bloodline in that region right over there.
But Dave, in order to die, to bleed out,
Yeah.
unless your organs are hit, your important organs,
You wouldn't be able to
you
walk
need-
or crawl that
there
far.
would be much more blood here.
There would be,
because
yeah.
it's 2 or 3 pint loss is you bleed out. You
Yeah.
basically die of bleeding,
Right.
unless particular organs. And how did they hit those particular organs so?
Well,
so
I don't want to go to the detail.
expert
What's really concerning me right now is that we are being told that these bodies are all real, and they may be humans just laying down there. I don't know, but it looks to me very suspicious. Everything about it, the fact that we only have one picture of it, is very suspicious.
Well, everybody has a price.
No, they're real. They're real, but
yeah.
You just raised a very important point. Everybody has a price. Wow.
And if I was offered $2 million, would I be willing to do the following, et cetera, et cetera?
Let's ask the group.
The Sandy Hook group. There were millions involved.
Remember this guy Mintz, the guy that we who had a GoFundMe page when he claimed he was shot 7 times and then claimed it was 5 times? I'm redoing my background here. Well, Mintz collected over $1 million in his GoFundMe page. He's been openly telling people he was shot 5 times, and he has no scars at all.
Who shot him?
Allegedly, the shooter that died, and conveniently, all the shooters
They
die.
always die.
They always die. You notice that dead men
never
don't
find
tell
out.
tales.
You can't find out.
I'm
who-
talking louder because I need to talk as opposed to being interrupted.
Sorry.
All right? Thank you. Because I do a show here every night, and I don't talk over people. Thank you. All right, go ahead.
I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, because you're talking over me in the middle of my conversation. It's hard to talk when somebody's talking over you. I don't know if you've noticed that. You're out of here. We're done with you too, buddy. You're gone. Don't ever come back here. I'm tired of you. It's going to be ear rape if I continue to get interrupted. Okay, we'll take you out too. All right. All right, I think we're done here. Thank you for coming to the show. I'm going to do the show by myself. No, I don't need to be interrupted. You really, it kind of wastes my...
Sorry, I didn't know. Sorry.
It just wastes my time talking in a show when I'm interrupted. It's frustrating because I try to talk and get a point across. I'm being interrupted 50 times in a conversation. It really is frustrating. I'm not crazy. I'm just telling you. I can't get a word in edgewise when people talk over me. Okay, you have a question. Who are the people in the... Yeah, there you go. Who are the people in the upper deck? It's a good question. We've got a very good high-resolution picture here. Well, this is why I do the show alone normally, because I don't have people interrupting me. It's great. Yeah, who are these people sitting up here? That's what I'd like to know. There's a couple people sitting in this chair right here. There's 2 people sitting up there. Look at Rodney, you're obviously a homophobe. I don't see anyone. Well, they're all dressed in black. You see that? Yeah. Scissor Fight has a really good high-resolution picture of this. Yeah, they're sitting up here in the upper steps. We don't know who they are. There's somebody in those two chairs there. I see nothing. I know nothing. Yeah, well, you know something? I have a hot head. I have a nuclear head. Calling me a hothead is an understatement. I'll tell you what happened to me the other day at the recycling center. I'll blow up anytime I want, but you notice I don't say any bad words? Not said one bad word, but I'll tell you, when somebody steps up on my words, when I'm speaking, constantly interrupts me, watch out. I had to fight all my life to be heard with that kind of crap every single night of my life. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. You try growing up in a family like that. God, it's unbelievable. Believe me, I'm not into violence. I would never hurt anybody. But stepping on my words, talking over me every few seconds, I'm sorry, you don't get to do the show with me when you do that. Well, good. I don't really care what I sound like because, frankly, I'm a little tired of being stepped on and interrupted. And she's not the only one that does it. So that's why I do a show every night by myself. For the most part. Do I borrow money? Of course not. I don't owe a person anything. I've never borrowed any money from anybody in my life. I'm not a person who's ever been bankrupt. I've never borrowed money. Look, you want solvency in this country, I'm the guy. You have people who constantly borrow, like Donald Trump, forget it. Well, I personally can't handle a heavy dose of nonstop non sequiturs and tangential statements. I'm sorry. She's visiting me right now. We're having... I was looking for an excuse to get rid of Beekman, to be honest. I've been trying to get rid of that guy from the room for the past 6 weeks. He came back after a long stay away from our show. And everything he says is mindless. He doesn't understand a damn thing. And he comes up with the same garbage responses to every single statement of truth. Putin is playing a very, very tactical game. By endorsing Trump, he's going to create a huge problem for America. And he wants to put us in the vulnerable position with a tyrant like Trump. You're not my brother, Ben, and get out of the room. Never come back here. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, Putin is playing a tactical game. Endorsing Trump basically destabilizes the American political scene. He's looking to destabilize America. This is a process that's been going on since the KGB put together mind control programs to be implemented in the United States. When Khrushchev met Kennedy in the 1950s, that's just not true. When Khrushchev met Kennedy, he actually said that we will take over your nation internally. We will take over your nation internally. I'm not getting upset with anybody. I don't like to be stepped on in a conversation, especially when I'm talking about important things. Last thing you do is step on a person when they're talking about life and death and deceit. You don't step onto a conversation. Every time I escalate was to get a word in edgewise. That's what I have to deal with when dealing with a conversationalist who literally jumps all over everything I say every few minutes. This isn't Christmas. We're going to be doing a Christmas show on Christmas Eve. You'll see if I get pissed off then. Feel free. Come on in. Look, at every time you have a family gathering, did you invite everybody that came? Well, that wasn't even a fight. That's just me saying, hey, I don't have any time for this. I've got a show to run. Relax and calm down. Your country is being sold off to the richest, most corrupt person on earth, and you tell me to calm down while you don't do a damn thing to change things? You didn't arrange anything. You were born into a world of crap, and you're merely a person who knows how to regurgitate it. I'm afraid it is a show, unfortunately for you. I'm not relaxing at all. I'm just getting revved up. You think I'm going to relax for a show? You know, I come into the show every night and do 4 hours and then extend out to 9 hours. I'm not calling her back. She's not coming back in this room. Excuse me? No, you just don't understand why I'm popular. You don't own a site. Yeah. Yeah, don't be a party pooper. At this point, it's about popular, yeah. I am that person. You don't know me. I have a temper. Oh, definitely. I'm not hiding it. I can basically take Donald Trump and flush him down the toilet, verbally. If the Republicans were smart, they'd put me in the debate. I would disable him. He would be a babbling idiot in less than 15 minutes. I'm the guy who can basically neutralize Trump. Well, what's going to happen if Trump gets elected? Our nation's going to turn into a Gestapo police state under Hitler. All of you who believe that you have rights will be asked if you're Muslim. No, I have total self-control. A lack of self-control would have been me using the F word and hitting the screen. It's not what my sister said, it's the fact that she talks over everything I say. I can't handle it. If you get in a conversation with somebody who interrupts you every 15 words or 5 words, how could you have a normal conversation? Whatever she's on, she's certainly not, it's not none of my business, really. You should be more respectful. Ask your grandpa what he would do if somebody stepped all over everything he said. Never had anger problems, and I've never abused my sister. Yeah, I'm a strong man, exactly. Thank you. I don't need to prove I'm a man by getting loud and telling her, we don't need you in the show, but thank you for your input. Bring it on! You think I'm a lightweight? Oh my God. You want to talk about a tough president? I make Donald Trump look like a panty waist. He'd be fearful just talking to me directly, one-on-one. He wouldn't know what's coming out of my mouth. I am perhaps the most unpredictable political candidate in this ridiculously controlled and censored government-led world that you live in. Thank you. Doggy Style got an answer from his grandpa, and it's the same answer I have. Panty waist is a person who's, I guess, unable to draw and get all bunched up in a pocket. Well, lucky for you, I'm committed to nonviolence. Well, this tie isn't even from Macy's. It's actually a Stafford. They are a pretty average tie company that came out with ties that looked like Trump ties when Trump came out with his. And that's what this is. This is like a bargain basement Trump tie. from Stafford. Well, anyway, if you want a panty waist to run for president, you got the wrong guy. But am I stupid like Trump? No. Am I a borrower, a credit junkie like Trump? No. Do I want to see our country go deeper into debt like Trump does? No. Well, thank you, Faint Taste. I am relaxed. I was always relaxed. I do a show every night. I believe JCPenney's was the Stafford company, yeah. But I'm a winner. Trump isn't a winner. He's a loser. Trump has lost more money than anybody I could even think of. Why do you think he has 4 corporate bankruptcies under his belt? What the hell? I mean, don't you even see the record of this guy who lies about his net worth? I was raised to be passive, but I'm not passive. Well, let me tell you what happened. It's a personal note. At 7 years old, I was talking to my second cousin, and he said something bad about his sister, and I slugged him. I basically slugged him in the face when I was 7 years old. And he got hit, and he cried, and he went back to his mom, and his mom was very upset. And my dad talked to me. He says, David, you can't do that to people. You can't hit them. Well, I mean, I didn't like the way he was talking about his sister, I said. But you just can't hit people. And my dad, who had been a war hero and killed over 100 men, he said it takes a greater man to not fight back, David. He claims he has 10 billion, Walton. Well, that thing that jumped in my head at 7 years old, it takes a greater man to not fight back. And I was a great man. I mean, I was growing up to be a great man, and I wanted to, prove it. But I thought, well, that's kind of confusing. If I have to hold back and not fight, that is harder than it is to fight. It's easier to bash somebody's face in. It really is. No, I'm serious. And then when I realized that my dad, the war hero, was telling me to not fight back, there had to be a reason why he was doing it. Well, Google can say whatever they want. Trump claims he has 10 billion. You go to Gawker.com and find out, punch in Trump's wealth, and you'll see he doesn't have anything that he can back at all. His story changes all the time. It's all about lies. It was good advice for my dad, because you can see with this type of inner anger that I would have ended up, no, I don't have a need for anger management. If I had this inner anger outward and physically, exerting myself everywhere, I'd be in prison right now. I wouldn't be here talking to you. So I learned at a very young age how to get beaten up. How to put my face right out there and have people hit my face, hit my body, how to take a punch. And I've been beaten up many times after that time at 7 years old. Only to say right now that I am literally 100% committed to nonviolence in my life and continue to be committed to nonviolence. And when I see our country pushing for war, I'm here to talk about nonviolence. Not because I'm weak, but because I'm strong enough to not be violent. You understand? Don't confuse in any way weakness for cowardice. You're missing the whole point if you do. How about a $500 projector with a built-in $500 tablet with a built-in projector? That's pretty cool. Yeah. Did you see the robbery caught on a Castro show? The guest recorded it and called the cops. Well, that's probably a good thing. If you see anything going wrong that's illegal, you should call the cops. But obviously nothing I've done has been illegal. So Yellen has suffered a nervous breakdown. She's going into a meltdown during a speech. You're gay. Let's take a look at Janet Yellen. She's clearly not able to handle the stress of her job.
And inflation below our goal.
She totally went dark on that one.
I expect this to occur as the temporary factors that are currently weighing on inflation wane.
This is what the world's
provided
relying
that
on.
economic growth continues to be strong enough to complete the return of the economy to full employment and to
He's out of it. She's drunk. Something's wrong.
to return to full employment, and long-run expectations remain well anchored. For most FOMC participants, including myself, we currently anticipate that achieving these conditions will likely entail an increase in the federal funds rate later this year, followed by a gradual pace of tightening thereafter. But if the economy surprises us, our judgment's about appropriate.
Wow. She is so out of it, it's unbelievable. And our hopes and dreams are resting on this sack of potatoes that calls herself a Federal Reserve chairman. What a joke. Talking slow. She's got a stroke or something. She's in the middle of a nervous breakdown or something. We don't know what's going on. I can tell you that when they replaced Ben Bernanke, the most incompetent chairman ever, with an even more incompetent chairman, they really pulled a humdinger, didn't they? She's having a very mild stroke. Her arteries need to be checked. I don't know if anyone would sleep with her. Is it your mind control breaking down? Let's hear about that. Do you have a personal experience with mind control you'd like to share? No, I've been urging my sister to get her own internet show and not borrow mine. I told her she could do a YouTube show and she'd probably get tons of hits. Seriously, because I don't get hits. I'm censored. 100 years ago, she slept with somebody. Well, let's see what a young Janet Yellen looks like, okay? Let's just determine if she would have slept her anywhere near the top. No, because I worked 7 years to get this show. To ban Beekman anytime I wanted. That's she didn't spend 7 years and 7,000 hours to get this show. Why can't she just borrow my show? Are you serious? I'm not going to take a deep breath and relax. I'm amped, ready to go, man. You want a tough negotiator? I'm the one, not Donald Trump. He'll cave. He'll do whatever the Federal Reserve tells him to do. You want a person who's clear on a vision toward world peace? It's me, not Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. God knows what she thinks. She's too afraid to speak. They're all sun-spiring against you. Do you know how to read or write? Are you even literate? Okay, here's a young Janet Yellen. She was kind of a looker, I gotta tell you. I mean, yeah, she could have had some relations, who knows? It's not sibling rivalry, it's me just not wanting to be interrupted. And look at Doggy Style. He actually asked Grandpa, what would you do, Grandpa, if somebody interrupted you all the time? I know to get the hell out of here. So ask Grandpa. I don't know. I think she's in a world of crap, this Janet Yellen, and she has no way of flushing it. She's been forced to raise the interest rates a little bit because the corporate elitists want to make a little bit more money because they don't make it enough. A patsy has been arrested. Shooting location shares Sandy Hook fate. Wow. Interesting. This patsy guy, he really, it's sad. They're targeting this idiot that was living next door to this couple that was killed by our cops, claiming that they were the alleged shooters when the witnesses at the scene said there were 3 men wearing khakis. There were Caucasian men, tall, that allegedly shot some guns off. We don't even know if anyone was killed. Well, that's your problem. You need to grow a longer backbone. Michael Moore holds a sign that says, "We are all Muslim." Oh my God. Look at this freak. Wow. Well, he's got a very big sign to cover his waistline. Guest 951, like I said, I've made a dedication to nonviolence. Although I've trained in martial arts, I will not use those or deploy those techniques unless I am threatened with bodily harm or personal injury. Let me tell you what just happened. I was at the recycling center in my area, and some guy who looked very much like Michael Moore, some jacked up Democrat who had a real hard-on for his SUV, pulled his car within a foot of my car. And I'm just parking, doing my recycling, right? Dropping my plastic waste off like a good citizen. And I noticed him backing up and closing, backing up, and he got 3 feet away from my car, then he got 2 feet away from my car, he's backing up, and within 1 foot of my car, I said, "Hey, what are you doing?" And he immediately called me out. He told me to F off. And he said, if he hits my car, he's just going to get an insurance company and we'll sort it all out later. I said, what? So I got in my car. I didn't call him any names, mind you. I got in my car. I said, well, tell you what, I'm going to move my car. I moved my car 10, 20 feet away. And he's still calling me names. Oh, F you, F you. Oh, yeah. And I said, hey, look it. I'm cool, man. Just relax. Well, oh, F you, F you. I'm cool. Just relax. And I'm sorry I got upset. I even apologized. So that's how I handle myself in public. Okay? Michael Moore is lucky he even became famous when he did that stupid video about General Motors. The guy is an impotent, worthless liberal with one thing on his mind, and that is to share the wealth. And he doesn't even have any more wealth. It's a joke. He's probably living on a pension. But yeah, I handle myself very well in public, but you want a person who's tough, you don't want Donald Trump. He's a pussy. He's got pussy written all over him. He's got, I've had a golden spoon in my mouth all my life mental attitude. He's totally impotent. Michael Moore he doesn't even have the guts to question Obama. The guy is a worthless Democrat who's obviously, like so many Democrats, afraid to question their leader. I'd be glad to say it to Trump's face. He doesn't have any balls at all. I'd be seriously doubted if he's not gelded. He's some sort of a eunuch. He's a Zionist corporate pig. And you want toughness, I'll show him toughness. Believe me, you stick me in the debates against Donald Trump, and the Republicans are going to go, thank you, David, for coming in and helping us with this irate person. At least you took center stage over him. Trump is a worthless person who can't even validate his net worth. Trump, Secret Service, yeah, right. Yeah, I'd love to debate that debate too. My plan? Well, for one, it's not about borrowing money. It's not about letting Muslims into the country. It's about no refugees. Any refugees would be automatically sent into the Ellis Island or Channel Islands facility. And we would have a lot of areas in Arizona and Nevada to deal with these people, but we wouldn't just shut down the Constitution like Trump wants to do. When he borrowed all my ideas, he failed to hit the small details. And the devil is in the details. Well, he should have Secret Service. El Chapo wants his head. He needs to get protected. I have no problem with Trump as a person. But as an elitist corporate pig that he is, I have a big problem with that. Especially since this country's had elitist corporate pigs like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama, who's in the 1%, run this country into the ground. And we're going to turn to some guy who borrowed billions of dollars to pretend like he has money now? This guy probably deserves to be on the street the way he's behaving. And why am I looking at this drag king? Yeah. Well, Hugh, luckily for you, there is no need for your condo to be impaired. We have a very nice FEMA facility in Arizona. it can warehouse 350,000 of these refugees. Would you like to see a picture of it? Here's the FEMA camp that we have in Arizona, and we have one just like it in Nevada. And we've got lots of places for all these people to spend their time while we sort it out. Unlike Trump, I'm not going to have bag and tag Muslims. I'm not going to have deportation forces. Donald pissed at the Jews? Oh, come on. This guy is spending time at bar mitzvahs and ceremonies. He's going to Shabbat. I mean, he's been integrated into the Zionist culture. But you know, not all Jews are Zionist. So don't cast a big, huge brushstroke there against Jewish people. Well, I've met a lot of good Jewish people in my life. Many of them have been friends. I can't say they're friends now, but I ran out of money. I don't have any money to give them. Beekman is worthless. He doesn't have any real support here at all. He's like a piece of furniture you never use. Why do you have it in your room? Why do you have it in your house? Give it to Goodwill. I don't really know much about El Chapo, so I don't really have anything to say about him, but I can tell you what Donald Trump said about the Mexicans pissed off El Chapo to the point where he wanted to have a death threat against him. Oh, so you're making up you're saying that this is a picture of something that's been photoshopped? No, this camp is waiting for whoever wants to cross over the border. You have a Jewish friend who's an atheist? Okay. But unlike Donald Trump, I actually understand policy. When asked about the triad in the recent debate, Donald Trump didn't know what the triad was. So he managed to come up with some ridiculous statement saying we need good quality people to make decisions with the nuclear bombs and whatever. He didn't even know what the triad is. It's the air, land, and sea nuclear deployment system. And he's running for president. You want a blazing imbecile who's borrowed money all of his life to claim he's rich to run your country? Are you stupid or something? So basically, I would be an injection into the campaign right now. If they were to put me into the mainstream media just for 1 minute, it would actually drop the wings off of the Donald Trump bird and he wouldn't be able to fly very long. You don't have to know the location of the pick. It's top secret. Ted Cruz, Grandpa Munster. Possible link between the two. We're analyzing their spookily similar look. Whoa. You're right. Grandpa Munster is possibly Ted Cruz. You're right. No, pagans, you would basically be laughed out of the room because you're a person who supports Donald Trump, like an imbecile that you are. Many of you don't realize that the Trumpster he's not even named Trump. His real name is Drumpf. He hides his Germanic heritage. You think I've got an issue with my temper? You don't want to get close to this guy. He's dangerous. He's got anger management written all over him, but am I in any way not tough? No. I'm the toughest guy out there because I live on nails and grit. I'm probably one of the few people that can honestly say that I can live on rice and beans for 50 years if necessary. Donald Trump couldn't live on rice and beans for one dinner. Is it dance time? All right. Well, yeah, his name is really Drumpf. You may want to look it up. Do a genealogy report on him. Find out who he's related to. Okay, we're getting ready for another dance segment called Can't Stop. Because I can't stop running for president, and you can't stop watching me, and some people can't stop hating me. So we all have something in common, ironically. Isn't that great? We just can't stop. Yeah, I try to avoid rancid pork, especially when it's corporate. Let's sit.
Can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night, bring it on to the sunlight. Can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop, we can't stop. We can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna dance all night.
Good night. Sleep well.
We can't stop. We can't stop.
So let's be clear.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
So we have an idea to save the nation with hybrid capitalism, but we can't do it without your help, and we need to build this third party. Well, my laptop broke. Remember, I got a new battery for it. It didn't work. Oh well. We have real solutions for the country. We don't have a fake world of lies and promises. We have real solutions. This may look like a joke to you, but it could actually create hundreds of thousands of jobs installing these and making these things. Larson and I have never gone head to head. He cheated. Anyway, I'm moving on. I may be going after Jay Inslee's job as governor of Washington. It's on. Where have you been? We haven't seen you in a while, Sam's dad.
In this coming election year, please vote for David Sponheim, America's Third Party.
Howdy. Long time no see. Apparently you ran out of cash. Well, I'm not the guy with cash. Okay, so what is government a la carte exactly? Well, it's a concept I created where we don't spend big money on big mega bills. One of my ideas, I don't know the MCs in my state, no. One of the ideas that I've come up with is to actually limit any bill that comes to the president to 100 pages or less. And I will openly say to Congress, I don't need to get to know any secret societies. Sorry. Go away. Just leave. If you're here from some secret society, go away. Yeah, you're going to have everything kind of sculpted into what really matters. Like an immigration bill wouldn't be 1,200 pages or 2,000 pages for Obamacare. We'd have 100-page bills. Digestible, understandable, readable, communicatable, discussable. I don't even think those are words. Discussable. So what they've done is they've taken and made mega bills that are pork barrel spending bills that these congressmen or cronies or prostitutes, whatever you want to call them, literally just throw on all their little side entrees when we want to have an a la carte plan for immigration. We want to have an a la carte plan for health care. So what I'm going to probably do is revolutionize the way Congress works by just telling them no. I'm vetoing anything past 100 pages, whether you like it or not. Go away. Nobody can threaten me or influence me. What are you, a gang member? Threatening me now? Good luck with that. Yeah, you got nothing on me, man. And you get one step closer to me and you will find yourself in a world of crap. I won't stop, because it can't stop, because I did stop. So what you're really talking about is having a woman who will obviously have nothing to say with evil intent. You're in the wrong place with the wrong person right now. I don't kowtow to secret societies or religious cults. But right now we got Donald Trump killing the Republican Party on its last leg. And you got people like this guy behind me wanting to vote for Hillary. Just don't come into the show and threaten me that I've got to go cozy up with a bunch of bikers. Okay? Okay, we got a death threat. It's been logged. Okay. Next time you do that, we're calling the cops on you, buddy. Believe me, we'll be getting them on the phone tonight if they keep this up. Yeah. Yeah, that's a 25-year presidential threat there you're looking at. Stiff time, too. Yeah, well, it goes down as a death threat, and we're going to be processing it as a death threat right now. I keep a list of all the death threats so that Devon servers could be subpoenaed by law enforcement at some point. And he has to hold all this stuff in his server for 18 months by law. Yeah, we know. It's a lot of times they don't even, they're kids living in their mom's basement. They don't even know what they're doing. Eventually we'll have the necessary tools. We won't have to shut down the internet like that dumb, stupid idiot Trump is saying, that we're going to shut down the internet as we know it. What we will do, however, is set to get, we got this entire plan of Web 4.0 where the sentinels, the bots that will be working on the internet will be identifying anybody with multiple proxy servers bouncing around the internet. That's all it does. And I've talked with data management experts about this. It's totally doable. So these people with red tags on their IP will be watched because they're bouncing around servers for a reason. And the more they bounce around servers, proxy servers, the more likely we're going to catch them. Because guess what we have? We have facial recognition software that's not me personally, but our government has facial recognition software and IP address tracking systems that are so advanced that they're interconnected to the Jade 2.0 defense system, which is an artificial intelligence bot that's a supercomputer that can track your voice, your face, and your IP address all at the same time. So if these people think they're going to run and hide behind their mommy and steal money from their purse or come over and kick my butt, they'll either face an incredibly dangerous situation which will end in their death, or they'll be hunted down like animals by our police force eventually and hauled into jail. So that's the future for a lot of these criminals on the internet. But is this a Donald Trump solution, changing the internet, shutting down the internet? No. This guy is a brash idiot. He doesn't even understand the internet. I doubt he's even read or even written one single page of HTML scripting in his entire life. If you handed HTML scripting to him, he wouldn't even know how to handle it. He wouldn't even know what it is. He's a functional idiot who has all this money that he can run around brashly calling people names. A veritable moron with cash. And you want him to run your country? Wow. You people must be deluded. All right, so we've got all kinds of great ideas. And we've got an alternative view from a person on the internet who has never had any mainstream media attention on the issues. And it's me. And if you want to get me on the ballot in your state, you're actually going to have to break yourself out of that little mold you're living in where you think everything is so politically correct and God forbid we do anything wrong and realize that we are the people and we've had enough, okay? And if you don't understand the whole meaning behind this effort that I put together every single night on this show, then you don't understand what I'm about. I'm not afraid of your accusations that I'm not politically correct. It doesn't matter to me. Okay, you got a better picture of them? There they are. Wow. Look at that. You zoomed in on their picture. Yeah, who are those people up there with the black ninja outfits standing there overlooking the bodies? You got to wonder. Great picture. Thank you for bringing that in. Totally looks like Metallica, dude. All right, so obviously you've seen the different qualities that I possess, and I'm also a very fair person. I may be definitely a hothead. I'm not going to say I'm not a hothead. I got hothead written all over me. I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't a hothead. But I'm tougher than Donald. I put up with a lot more than he ever has in his life, and I can assure you I've dealt with tragedy far greater than he's ever dealt with. And the biggest tragedy of all is that you people don't realize how dangerous it is to have a controlled political environment where the media suppresses an average man from speaking out. You realize that's the worst thing that could be happening in our country right now, is the suppression of free press? You know, when I want a stupid moron president, I'll hire one. You know, we'll get another guy like Obama. If we wanted another stupid moron egomaniac for president, we'd have Obama. Or we'd have Donald Trump. If that's what the American people really want. Now, Finger Tracker, you saw a bunch of pictures of little girls. That's weird, man. Yeah, don't go to those sites. Thank you, Lion of Judah. Well, my passion's just getting started. You know, I've been running my campaign in limp mode for the past 7 years. You know, you want to know why I've been running it in limp mode? Because I was eviscerated by political correctness. Let me just share with you what happened in 2008 when I started this campaign. I was told to shut up. Be quiet. Don't say anything that would make you look unprofessional. He's the white Obama, exactly. I was told I couldn't talk about conspiracy issues on the show. I'm not going to talk about who said it or when they said it. But I said no. I'm going to, you know, I've got so many people in our show that are talking about conspiracy issues. I wouldn't even have a show if I didn't bring those into the show. And as I listened and learned and watched all kinds of a voluminous amount of information and news gathering, vetting of information, verifying, trying to verify, and with the scant information we get from these false flags that they keep putting out, I said to that person, I said, no, I'm just going to continue doing what I'm going to do, and if you don't like it, too bad. And that's how it's been ever since. So I in no way have a problem with expressing myself and showing you the real internal anger that I possess about the suppression of freedom of speech. There's nothing more suppressive than a person stepping all over your words while you're talking. Voluminous, that's correct. Not ballooninous, voluminous, yes. So if you have a situation where somebody says, oh, you shouldn't say that at the dinner table, don't talk about that, you're weird. Say, screw you. I'll talk about whatever I want. My God. And the real problem with our country is we are being forced into this mold of being politically correct by a bunch of dumb-ass Democrats who literally, they want to take your guns away. They want to tell you to shut up when you're talking. They want to tell you can't do that because it's not politically correct. They want to gut the American Constitution. They want to take away our freedoms. They want to line us up and shoot us. They don't even want us here. They say population is too big. We need to get rid of our population. Oh, but let's bring in all these illegal immigrants into our country and just open our borders like floodgates. These are the same people that want to ruin our country. And they're the Democrats. And you know something? Donald Trump is so politically correct, just like the Republicans, that he won't even use the word Democrat because he'll be worried about losing votes. I'm serious. He won't talk about 911. He won't talk about the demolition that they did on 3 buildings, killing all those people. He'll just talk about the Muslims that had an air trip out of their country. Everyone knows that the bin Laden family were quickly shuttled out of Pakistan. They were given a free flight by our country. That alone belies a deeper question. Why did we let the bin Laden family get away? But do you think Donald Trump will ask that question? Hell no. Because it'll imply that he's a truther. Oh, God forbid that would affect his voting ability. People wouldn't vote for him because he's a truther. This guy is hiding under political correctness and being the biggest loudmouth out there. Yeah, Trump is politically correct. I hate to say it. He won't take on the tough issues on GMOs. He won't talk about fluoride in our water system. He won't talk about war in a peaceful way because it's politically correct to hate on ISIS right now. Really, he's just bandwagon Republican idiot like the other ones that want to attack ISIS wherever ISIS is, which obviously is a CIA plan to propagandize and create fear of terror so that we want to start another stupid war again. He won't take on the issue of him hiring a known felon as his top senior financial advisor. He says he doesn't know who you're talking about. A felon who runs his chief financial advice. If you're a Democrat, you're supposed to love on all Islamicists. And even Loretta Lynch, the black lady that got racially profiled as being black and was allowed to become a black attorney general after we just had a black attorney general, which reeks of racism and racialism, she goes out and says that she's going to prosecute people that say bad things about Muslims. I'm just glad I don't say anything bad about Muslims. I don't want to be prosecuted. But if she really meant what she said, she should be going after Donald Trump right now and prosecuting him. Trump, he absolutely believes that ISIS is a threat, as all the Republicans and Democrats do, and like you do. You think ISIS is a threat too. There is no difference between ISIL and ISIS. They're not branded with different names on their faces. There is no difference. Our country has been supporting splinter groups of Sunni radicals for some time, and all of them are turning into these ultimate ISIS forces that our government is literally paying for. When you see those pictures of Toyotas in ISIS land, these were purchased by the U.S. State Department. The request came from a pension department. So yeah, I'm getting the impression this guy's just one big clown. And he's basically pulling your horn to act like he's saying something different when he's just like all the others, politically correct, afraid to talk about the real issue, how the government has pulled a scrim over our eyes and keeps lying to us about everything. Well, I'm not a cloned clown. I'm not a person who can just go out there and say whatever the Federal Reserve wants to tell me. I'm not a person like Barack Obama who will read off a teleprompter. That's what my beef is. Personally, you've been lied to and you won't even understand. No, Trump has never agreed with me on ISIS. Trump has never said that ISIS was funded by the CIA. You read the transcripts. He's never said that. God, are you out of it? We have now reached the 9 o'clock hour. At this time, we segment to our video show, which is a nightly show where I talk about videos and play them in the background. Isn't that fun? Oh, he said we are funding them, and we don't know who they are. He's saying it. Well, good. I'm glad he finally copied that part of my speech. What other things did he want to copy besides? Just give me a laundry list of things he wants to borrow for my campaign, and I'll deliver the list to his office. Okay? Thank you. I'm glad he finally recognized the waking up the American people. Hey, Brianna. Hello. Long time. Well, I missed you too in the chat room. Thanks for coming in. Obama has wasted money everywhere. He spent $500 million of your tax dollars. Instead of solving problems in American cities, he sent it to rebels to start wars in Syria. What about that do you not understand? Yeah, it was a big mistake. Every dollar spent over in Syria is a waste of money. And what really troubles me about Trump is he wants to start a ground war with Iran. And he wants to bomb the crap out of ISIS. He's all over the place. First he says he doesn't know who's funding or why we're funding them, according to you, which I've never heard him say. And then he says he's going to bomb the crap out of ISIS. I mean, this guy's talking through both sides of his mouth. You should know that. Well, thank you. I don't care what they said. I've been saying it for 8 years. Okay? If they want to come into my show and borrow and copy every idea I have, that's fine. I don't really care. It's not a problem. At least they're borrowing good ideas. Yeah, I'm a reasonable person. I'm not here to drive a wedge between Ted Cruz and Donald Trump. Okay, here's a video of a man, deputy kills man armed with a knife in California. Now, we need law changes where they have a shoot to maim policy, but instead, sheriff's major crimes investigators have identified the suspect that attacked an ununiformed patrol officer with a knife yesterday, Camarillo. So that's the knife that got him killed.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
What is with these people that can't hold their camera right? I don't get that. Goodbye. We're done with you two. Don't come back in the show. You're a worthless Democrat. Even if you aren't a Democrat, you certainly act like one. There we go.
Finish that motherfucker. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is not happening right now.
Oh, so now you decide to turn the camera straight. Now I gotta rectify this. The guy was deaf? Yep.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Oh my God, what do we do?
Okay.
Oh.
All right, they just saw a shooting in Camarillo. Deputy shot to kill. The guy was deaf. Was he deaf? Yeah, I heard the same kind of thing happen. Well, if we don't have a policy where they shoot their legs, yeah. Why did the guy not shoot the woman's or the man's legs? Why do they keep shooting? And if you shoot below the abdomen, there's no point to shoot to kill. You're going to disable the person, and the person's obviously messed up. They never shoot below the waist. They always shoot to kill. And this is part of the protocol problem that we have in our country. We have no leadership from our president. He's a complete waif of a man. He's a joke. He has been a joke since you guys elected him. And you haven't had a credible Democrat run because you kicked people like me out of your party. All right, thank you. All right, so guest on, and we are going to open up the chat to your discussion and comments. But you know, we do take on tough issues in our Technology Thursday show, like robotics, the advance of technology to the point where they're going to have robo-cops on your streets in America. That's what's happening. What party was you in, so I can look it up? I was in the Democratic Party, but now I'm a third party man. Now y'all gotta think about a third party because you ain't gonna get no solutions from the two-party system. Alright? So that's why I come in here promoting the third party every day. Because that's what I believe in. Alright? And if you don't believe that a third party will solve problems, then you don't believe in anything. Because you don't believe in any new ideas. And that's a problem. Because you ain't going to get new ideas out of the two-party system. All the same old ideas that keep flushing out. Make y'all believe you got something new, but you ain't got nothing going on. You got nothing but stupidity in the two-party system. Seattle police kill a deaf man walking down the street. This is good. More evidence of police brutality. Seattle police killing a deaf man walking down the street. Look at this. This is scary as all
right now
to
is
be.
a follow-up on something that we had covered not too long ago on the show, out of, I think it was Seattle, Washington, downtown Seattle, where a man was shot to death by a police officer because he was allegedly wielding a knife. Well, it turns out he wasn't wielding a knife. He had a knife, and he was using it to whittle. And
not exactly a big knife either.
He wasn't even actually, from what I understand, not even whittling at the time. The knife was apparently closed. And so this cop gets out of his car, and the video footage has now been posted over at freetalklive.com. You can't actually see him put bullets in this man, but you see him walking off the screen. You hear the audio of what is happening, and he basically tells the guy to drop the knife. And because he doesn't, after he's told to like 2 or 3 more times, literally it's a span of 7 seconds between when the cop gives him the first order to drop the knife and riddles him with bullets.
All right. Take a look at this.
Turns out the guy has, like he's partially deaf and has
had headphones in.
Headphones in. He couldn't hear the guy. I mean, like,
yep.
I thought it was that he was actually deaf, and the headphones were to show people that he couldn't hear. That's what the understanding I got.
And I think it'd be kind of fun for Mitch being, kind of new to this thing, to get right to the heart of the artichokes and then maybe touch your message at the same time.
What a friend. You know, that John McGrath is always there for me, isn't he?
What a guy.
I'm not sure about that, Mark, but nonetheless, he couldn't hear and was murdered.
Yeah, that's what happened. Great video of that shooting. Yeah, really shows the details up close. Yeah, you really see it. Wow. Downtown Seattle, yeah. The fact is, cops are on edge. They are. Connie sometimes comes to the show later in the evening. When you see, we do a 9-hour show. We record the first 3.5 hours. NASA finally has a stationary satellite facing Earth.
December 17th, 2015. And what we have going on is a very historic date. Very important date. Because for the third time in all of recorded history, once when we landed on the moon, once earlier this year when they released new pictures of the Earth, and as of today or yesterday, I'm not sure, this is in the breaking news on MSN, right? I'm sharing this video because they're breaking this clip right here. NASA camera offers unique perspective on lunar eclipse. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. But let me click on that. Let me click on that one. Here we go. Let's just watch it for a sec. Okay.
It's a stationary satellite.
So, let me put that on pause, and then we'll take it back just so I can replay it again, right? Let's go over. Okay, here's my problems with it, and here's what I'm going to show you. Okay, is that number one, the moon is moving what appears to be faster than the Earth, right? It's basically in a geosynchronous orbit, or always over the Pacific Ocean / west coast of the United States, the equator. Okay. Easiest to see right there.
That's funny.
And if I was a CGI expert, I would probably, that would be, and then it appears to move away faster as it goes off to the right. Okay? So, but you know what? I could be wrong. Whatever. But here's the other thing, is since when did the dark side, I know this is about an equator, okay? But if this is not an equator, I'm sorry, about an eclipse. So if there's an eclipse and we have a satellite right now filming the backside of the moon, why is this not white? When we look up from Earth,
well, you can.
Right? When we look up from Earth, where we live, that's the planet we're on. It's white as shit. Okay? But with the sun beating on this thing at 168,855 miles, I think, no, 138,855 miles away, it's not bright at all. No atmosphere, no nothing to protect it, right? Because we look through an atmosphere and see it as white. It's gray. This is gray. I find that very odd. So, anyways, let's go on over to this other website because I wanted to share with you something about the satellite. Now, let's pay attention to the satellite, right? Satellite has not moved. It is, the Earth is spinning. The moon is rotating around, right? Okay. Satellite orbit types and definitions. I already knew some of these, but this is for your guys' benefit. There are many different satellite orbits that can be used. The ones that receive the most attention are geostationary. Sorry, there's one that's called geosynchronal. So I got mixed up for a second, sorry. Orbit used as they are stationary above a particular point on the Earth. So that means they just travel around with it, right? Okay. All right. What's the problem with the picture that we just saw? Okay. Problem is, as satellites orbit the Earth, they are pulled back in by the force of gravitational fields. If they did not have any motion of their own, they would fall back to Earth, burning up in the upper reaches of the atmosphere. Instead, the motion of the satellite rotating around the Earth has a force associated with geosynchronal. So I got mixed up for a second, sorry. Orbit used as they are stationary above a particular point on the Earth. Pushing it away from the Earth. Totally makes sense, right? We've all been on a carousel and felt like we're going to fly off. For any given orbit, there is a speed for which gravity and centrifugal force balance each other, and the satellite remains in a stable orbit, neither gaining height nor losing it. So, and then down here, we have a chart. So apparently, for the first time in history, we have a satellite that is not moving away from Earth, not moving towards Earth, not sweeping across as to maintain that yo-yo effect, right, where it is that centrifugal force, but it is stationary and filming an eclipse for our benefit, so that all of our tax dollars can show us what is going on and with this great eclipse that occurred, right? There's not one of these types of orbits, and some of the ones that aren't listed on here are described above. You have north and south orbits. You have non-traditional orbits, right, which is north, southwest, northeast, whatever the fuck, right? Low, high, on all the different trajectories. So it's just I'm not even really sure what else say about that. I'm more looking for your guys' comments because I already know what my opinion is. I made this video because I already knew what my opinion is, but We'll play this again. And one other thing I wanted to say is that if this is real, then I wanted to say thank you to Daniel Pratt, right? Because Daniel Pratt, was it a month ago, 2 months ago maybe? That he suggested that NASA put a satellite into orbit and just live stream
U Delft voor een demonstratie van een mogelijke vorm van vrije energie. Er zijn een aantal mensen hier zo die allemaal nieuwsgierig zijn en die willen allemaal het wonder wel eens aanschouwen. Is het niet zo?
We zijn nog weer op nulpunt.
Ja, het staat mooi op het plaatje hoor. Allemaal mensen, techneuten en idealisten. May I ask you, who are you? Your name?
Herr Yildiz, Muammer Yildiz.
Okay. And you are the inventor of this machine?
Yes.
And you are?
I'm a legal...
Okay, let me give you guys a little heads up here. This is a guy who's created a machine that actually generates electricity from thin air. Okay, by using magnetic spins like the Perendov engine that I showed you at the beginning of our show. Wow, so the snow is so bad in snow quality right now that they're having problems getting even plows through. Look at this. This is the Snoqualmie Pass, everybody, on I-90. Wow, that's pretty serious. I would never take that trip at this time, I'll tell you that. It's too dangerous. End up sitting in your car and warming yourself with your engine idling, hoping you don't run out of gas. All right, so this is the deal. Anybody who questions our show, feel free, go ahead. If you don't support us, that's fine. If you want to rag on me or my supporters, I'll ban you or purge you. That's the deal. So start talking about politics or get the hell out of the show. All right? I'll shut guest chat off and we'll just have people coming in watching the show. Now this is all about energy that this person's creating using a magnetic motor. Now it's a pretty good video. It's 10 minutes, but you're going to see them break the whole motor apart and show there's no batteries in here. Well, I'm going to let you guys just hash it out for a while. But just stop calling each other gay. It's just a waste of time.
Twice, a close friend, we are close friends and I'm very important. And you are?
I am Dick Korf, and I'm also busy with new energy, 0-point energy, free energy. So this is my car.
You are looking for free energy for a long time, I think.
Yes.
You found it today, I hope.
Found already, but this is an extra.
Okay, bye-bye.
I'm very curious.
Dit staat gevonden, wat waarschijnlijk een wereldreis zou kunnen gaan betekenen.
Well, I told the students that they could be here at 5:15, so maybe just 4 more minutes. If they're not here, then we will start. And well, I take this opportunity to thank everybody for being here, and especially Mr. Yildiz. Welcome. Your name is? My name is Koen Vermeeren. I'm from Delft University, and I'm just the organizer of this meeting. I met some of you guys already in the past, and I was quite enthusiastic about the phenomenon of energy from magnets. So that's the reason that I thought this opportunity, which is created by Jorge,